Onic Philippines, instead of going or choosing the red side, they are finally back in the blue side, so we can see major or slight adjustments to their creativity going up against Tlph. Because if I were Onic Philippines, of course, who doesn't want a 3-1 lead
Yep.
over the Cavalry?
And this has been their side previously as well, so we just saw how they were able to last minute bring out the Kufra, last minute
The
bring
Bene.
out the Benedetta. So these are things that you can still expect from Onic Philippines as they still take hold of the blue side. But for Team Liquid Philippines, again, we're looking for those adjustments. We're looking for that presence of mind
Yeah.
to be a lot more mindful of the possibilities heading into this, because if not, it's an automatic match point for Onic Philippines.
Exactly. Every time this countdown timer starts, I feel the whole ground shaking. So might as well call just Renmar for help.
All right.
That was a shorter one.
Did not expect that.
Me
You kind of
too.
threw me
Yeah.
off guard there.
That's what Tlph needs to do.
Yeah, I agree with you. Smooth segue, I'll give you that. Okay. Lucas, Fanny Kalea, I think still similar to the previous game spans that we saw.
Yep, it is.
I think the changes of Team Liquid Philippines, if ever we're gonna end this with the exact same bans, you know what? No, I think they need to ban out the. Oh, Onic banned the chip.
What?
Yeah.
They're still respecting it, even though they outdrafted it. Oh, it's like they're forcing Team Liquid Philippines to play different, while Liquid makes the same smart choice Onic made with priority banning the Matilda. They are not giving the low Yi anymore
Yep.
to Super Friends.
But that opens the Baksha for this game. So Onic Philippines can consider that if they wanted to.
Previously, Onic Philippines on the blue side, they went with the Harem first bid.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they can explore that route again. It went perfectly with the gold standard, racked up an MVP in game number 3. So let's see if that's still the route Onic is willing to take. But
Whoa.
King Kong wants to enjoy. He wants his joy.
Team Liquid Philippines, I think, would want to pick up the. It's either the Harith or Granger.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, just pick up the Harith, you pick up the Jusin, and then later you pick up the Fredrin, then you just revolve your draft around that. You could also potentially go for the Badang if you want to, but I'm really leaning towards just getting the Jusin.
Yeah, I feel like it's
Harith.
a Harith Jushin because it's also been in the EXP where they've been flexing things a little bit.
Wasn't that Falcons?
Yeah, it was flop easy, but I think the surprise, the X factor of the draft from TOPH can come from Sanford. And now they still go with the Baksha, still flex.
Oh. So we aren't entirely sure just yet, again, of where this is going, but the Jushin will then be available for Onic Philippines if they wanted to secure it here. And it's been, again, Super Friends' most heavily contested hero so far. They could play around this hero if they wanted to.
Yeah. So most likely this is just going to be the Granger and the Jusin. But then they show 3 cores. Now most likely Granger. If they don't pick up the Jusin, it'll be surprising. But maybe this is Team Liquid's approach. They are forcing Onic to pick up their main magic damage dealers already. So this will be a very magic heavy lineup.
Oh!
So they go for the big swerve. They don't even pick up the Granger here. They pick up the Badang and the Farsa instead.
Who can forget the last time TOPH went up against the Badang and was in the hands of Master Ogwin.
There you
Stole
go.
away a Lord, and now we get to see Carl Teasy on the Hayabusa.
Yeah, now at least they won't have to worry as much. The 1-1 was still out there too, but considering that they already have the Hayabusa, that might not be such a go-to option now for Onic Philippines. As well as the Farsa.
Okay, Liquid needs a bit more range unless they decide to double down on the idea that they don't need to play around that. Okay, they want to keep their backline safe. They take away the Hilda. Great ban. With the Phobius gone, Glue could come in for Liquid as their 4th pick.
Again.
Yeah, it's going to be Sanford just on the Glue. I think Glue's probably going to show up in every game now.
Yeah.
One way or another.
100% draft participation this time around. We won't be forgetting about the Glue now, but TOPH final ban. Will they ban out even the glue for Sanford, considering that Badang's still a flex here?
Yeah. They would want to go for the utility EXP laners, considering that they're both playing the assassins. Yep.
The Ranger as
Sense.
well.
Good man, good man.
You know, Rockhart actually mentioned this a couple of days ago, or not yesterday, that surprisingly, the Selena hasn't been popping up in the playoffs so far that much. I mean, Super Prince has been using it alongside Few, but there's the glue for Tlph.
I think carry would be okay here for Kelra, either the carry or the Beatrix. The airfield is going to be a bit lacking, considering that the glue and the Basha can rush blade armors.
The magic damage is already there, so it's probably not gonna be the Kimmy as well. It's probably either gonna be really the carry or the Moskov.
Oh yeah, of course, you're right. Moskov would be a great safe pick also, with the front-to-back nature of Liquids. Oh no, it is Beatrix, cool.
Oh!
Kufra Beatrix.
2 consecutive Kufra games for Brusco. Okay.
Blocks the dashes, good against the Harith. Will also make the entries for Hayabusa even more difficult.
Was it gonna be Sanji?
This is so tricky. There's a... I mean, there's the immune from the RWM, but...
The Eve might be okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the best, considering he's up against the Joy, the Kufra. But the Eve should be a good balancer. They can even go Valentina, but...
Oh! Bro, I just called it!
Against the Kufra, though? That's a ballsy move by Sanji.
Oh, Red 5 never fails to surprise us. Rockhard was asking this question yesterday, where... Selena's nowhere to be found. Where is Selena? And now it's in the hands of Sanji in a crucial game number 4.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you guys think about the Selena swerve?
It's a bit tricky, but hopefully Team Liquid Philippines are just really gonna play this aggressively all throughout. Gonna bank on their ability to just constantly interrupt the plans of Onic Philippines later on, and also the vision. The vision is definitely going to be there for them, and they can capitalize on that if it's just that. So this is hopefully space creation once more for both teams, but all the more for Team Liquid if they want to even out the series.
Crucial game for Team Liquid Philippines, so that's why Casters, take it away.
And take it away, we shall. We're going to load up into the Land of Dawn. It's game 4 upon us with some great drafting here.
Some old throwbacks and some returning heroes. I'm more excited to see Kufra go back-to-back with that Brusco.
Yeah, and considering that he's up against like the
3Ds.
Harith, he's up against the Selena, even the Hayabusa, again, as we mentioned earlier, has the time the entry's better. Bouncing ball is going to be a big ticket skill here.
Yeah, not only that, but at least for this one, JP has revitalized. I feel like a lot of the team fights we've seen break out in the past few games, it's just you're duking it out. But Revitalize always changes some of those team fights, especially when the other team doesn't have it, right? So Onic Philippines isn't going to have those in those team fights, whereas Tlph can play around some of that sustainability. But at the same time, I love the fact that they brought it up in the draft. Yeah, the Selena has been not really slept on. I feel like there's just a couple players who like to play it, but this time around, like, has Sanji played it much?
Nope, first time this season he's going to be playing the Selena.
And I forget myself, even the return of Badang in the series alone.
Oh, Bremar mentioned it earlier. He's like, it's kind of weird that we haven't seen the Badang pop up.
This has been a pretty Badangable series.
Oh, nice catch here by Liquid. They find Brusco. Again, the story of that opening draft is why the Kufra showed up so soon is you got to time it well, and they timed it well.
Yep, very sharp timing. Oh, and JB even found Super Prince. All right,
Cabra.
He's mad.
Oh, they want to watch this in the gold lane. Yeah, we're not getting away from that. But
I don't know. Is JP angrier at Onic or himself? So far, it's a great start, man.
Hey, that's what you got to do here. After what we saw in the previous one.
Either way.
Yeah, it's fine. And Turtle's up for the taking. Look at the lead. This is the fastest or the biggest lead, I think, throughout the series so far.
Sanford with the forward flicker. looking for that grab early on. Onic, better for it, not even thinking to take that turtle, conceding it over to Liquid.
Yeah, King can't farm as fast as Carl Tlph. Dude, it's a 2-level gap between Carl and King Kong already. Just goes to show how fast Team Liquid are doing their rotations. And again, the pick in the middle really set things up for starting the pace here for Liquid.
Say what you will about Carl Tlph's questionable plays from time to time, but he is still #1 in EXP per minute in all of regular season 15. So this man knows how to get EXP across the map.
He definitely farms like a goat.
Yes,
I was waiting for the sound effect, but
told you.
That's the thing, man.
can't
like,
escape it.
yeah, and if you can't escape the fact that he's going to get that lead, he's going to get that momentum based off delaying King Kong, but you know, so it puts King Kong in a position where he just has to catch up, and I feel like he's doing that. Obviously, he's trying to close the gap. They might not take some of the next fights even, and that's why Tlph trying to make a play here.
Oh my God, projectiles on projectiles. Oh, dropping the Zeppelin Force. Another arrow thrown out. Killer barely surviving. Dashing back. Here comes Super Prince. Point blank. A feathered airstrike. JP caught in the crossfire. Down goes Oheb. The Filipino Savage joins the fight. Nay, rejoins the fight. Flickers forward and gets Oheb.
Can't blame Team Liquid Philippines for making that call. The targets look good, but Sanji lands arrow!
Prince stayed a second too long. And the cavalry clap back.
I feel like that happened earlier when we didn't get to see it in the mid lane. Like, same thing. He probably stayed a little bit too long and then gets caught. I'm not sure if it was by the arrow as well, but again, the Selena seems to be playing a big part already in the early game.
Yeah, they got to balance it out, and all of these stops mean that Carl Tlph just keep getting farm and keeps expanding the lead between him and King Kong, who is up top trying to get farm, and there's a lot of focus down bot.
Magic arrow catching Kirk. Kelra firing back underneath the Zeppelin Force. Luckily for the Super Fam, that turret stands. Turtle spawns lower quarter.
Okay, Turtle's up. Got to watch out for these arrows, man. That's always the thing. Even with Sanji, the first time he's bringing it out throughout this season, seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And so right now, they'll just kind of face it off. Oh, King Kong?
Gets caught by a shadow kill. 1v1 with the young goat.
Carl Tlph finds King, and this should be a turtle for Liquid.
Yeah, this is, the lead builds even more. He's going to be spotted by Kirk. Carl just make his way down to the turtle after getting that kill up top. So even furthering the lead that he already has against Onic Philippines' jungler King Kong. This is not looking good for Onic Philippines right now.
Everything has gone right for Liquid. I was skeptical of this Selena pick. But again, just smart rotation, good timing between JP and Sanji. Carl going wild!
Coming in, throwing that shadow, forcing a response from Super Prince. Feathered airstrike, JP very low. Third Poisson's out. Sanford catches a bead. No losses per side.
A little bit of a push happened up top with Kirk trying to get that turret down. He should be able to get this as he clears it out. But yeah, that's the thing. You're seeing when those fights happen, it's just Onic Philippines lacking the damage, right? Obviously, they're down by a few thousand gold, and that's going to be the case. We'll see this. Look at this. He might get caught. Kirk might get caught here.
Yeah, Kirk actually has slightly more gold. Oh, no. Uh-oh.
JP delaying the jump. Forces out a flicker from Kirk. In comes the rest of Onic. King Kong dashing through. Sanford and JP. The conceal by Liquid disengages.
And as we saw right there at the end, the backup, it landed!
No. Massive arrow! Keeping Super Prince in place. Flickering wings by wings out.
An entire season of not showing Selena. This could be the hidden weapon of Liquid. While Keller and Oheb continue their duel down bottom, Keller has switched to the Wesker.
Oh, don't tell me. He's going to go for it.
The shotgun to Oheb's face. The forward flicker. Kelra does it again. In comes Sanji, looking for the punish. JP jumps onto Kelra, finds him, takes him down, and they're not done. Kirk does get the spread onto him. Sanford trying to keep him down. They will find their man.
And that's just, Kirk had no choice. King Kong can't go help either because he's just trying to catch up.
Not worth it in the end, 2 for 1. Arrow lands.
Another one. JP jumps in. Carl Tlph shadow kill on a Brusco. Popping that ball.
Sanji. Oh, he's in trouble.
King Kong dashing through. Super Prince with the assist. Down goes Sanji. Sanford, JP going for more. Can't find it. Turtle spawns.
It's getting really scrappy. Teams forcing out trades and skirmishes across the map. the right play to make. And still, at the end of the day, it's the Hayabusa in the lead against the Joy. 12 to 10 in levels. Another turtle slain by Liquid.
Yeah, clean on the board on the Turtles here, 3 for 3. And it's going to look like even that first Lord, unless something miraculous happens for Onic Philippines right now to catch back up, is going to be an objective for TLPH. But look at the difference here.
2,200. Hunter strike straight into the BOD. No wonder this Hayabusa hurts like crazy. Conceal in the mid. Is Liquid going to find someone? They will not force the issue. They're also playing around the arrows. Look at where Sanji's positioning. He wants to toss his arrows into potential flank areas.
Oh,
Just spotted out.
Brusco bouncing ball out of here. Sanford pushing through. Bombs away. Kelra cover fire for the rest of Onic. In comes a bouncing ball. The full combo from Kirk. Sanford's very low. Flickering back. In comes King Kong. Dashing through. Way too many bodies from Liquid here.
Arrow.
Salmon Force dropped in. And another arrow. Immobilizing Kirk. Liquid skittish from that last game.
Again.
And they find Super Friend Sanji. Bullseye.
Arrow after arrow from Sanji. Is this the secret weapon? Is he the bow and arrow for TLPH?
The Monster Mage showed off his skills with his Selena, but the chef is cooking.
JP and OM find King! Kingslay as these two are, and Sanji keeps Kirk at bay.
TLPH just doesn't let up. This is that Stampede gameplay we've talked about time and time again, and right now it continues on. They balloon to a 7,000 gold lead under the 10-minute mark.
Liquid can continue this onslaught. They still have to be careful with their execution for the next couple of sequences, considering that they are up against the Badang. The damage output of the Joy will be enough to put a dent in the armor of Liquid, maybe even punish them if they are not careful. Just no other slip-up, similar to what happened in the previous game. Continue the discipline that they're showing, the timing of JP, Sanji, Sanford together. You can see them talking and timing their entries. Keep that up.
Another shadow kill by Carl Teasy, putting multiple members of Onic at low health.
And look at that, Sanji was ready to toss the arrow right away. Brusco had to block it, good sense, but Liquid will get this Lord with no problem whatsoever.
Another objective under TLPH. And with a lead like this, now 8,000 gold, they should be able to march towards the base of Onic Philippines, and you've got King Kong scrapping for whatever he can, and these arrows will continue to scout things out for TLPH. Look at the disparity between the items here, even at this point.
Struggle here for Kelra, only up to a Malefic Gun. Of course, all of them packing the Rome Boots blessing, so the lowest gold holder will earn a gold every 5 seconds.
Any XP.
And the XP, yes.
Catch up Brusco again. Every little bit of kit you can get when you're behind helps. So leveling up Brusco's skills could help you claw back from this 8,000 gold deficit.
That's so tough to be in here. Beats are going to be popped. Oh.
Shadow kill coming through, and a defensive use of the bombs away from Kelra. Liquid are knocking to the base.
If there was a voice pack you could add there, it's Carl Teasy simply going boo.
Boo. There we go. Lord charging in. They're going to lose some turrets, lose some shields here too. They might force this in a little bit further. An arrow.
In comes 40. Dropping the Salmon Force. Oheb can smell blood in the water. Kirk goes down. Underneath the Salmon Force, they're still going. Brusco goes down. Sanji gets a double. The Super Fam are in shambles. The Lord still standing. Oheb gets taken down. Liquid might not want to force the issue.
And Liquid, another arrow land just to add insult to injury. Sanji on point. The arrow that landed on Kirk that opened up the picks for Liquid really set the bar.
Are they going to push this one in? Mid-turret going to fall down. Waves pushing in on the bot. Even with a lead this big, TLPH will take the discipline route and back off for now after getting the 2 base turrets.
I have to say, this is a must-win for Team Liquid Philippines. If they still somehow lose this and they slip up, Onic going to match point 3-1 after a massive turnaround. Consider the Immortal Cup already in the hands of the gods of the game.
Kong?
King Kong looking for Sanji, finds him. I think Sanji just understood that he was out of breath, like he was not supposed to be there.
Yeah. Accepted his fate. That's one slip up. They can't afford any more. That's shut down, although not massive. Let's see if Liquid can minimize their losses. They still have the item advantage, the damage advantage,
The map.
the map as well.
Basically every advantage at this point. Lord's going to be up in 30. They might get a turret down here. They're going to go ahead and charge things up. Conceal's going to be used.
JP looking to engage. Tlph throws out the shadow. Salmon Force from Oheb. Super Prince already spent. Defender Strike. No ult available for the Super Fam.
What a reaction by Kirk. He was so ready to bump into Tlph there. To fist bump him, almost started a chain reaction that could have meant Tlph got taken down, but it didn't lead to that. Liquid, though, because of the 2 towers, they've broken in base, now have the Lord. Looks like they're gonna blitz it, but Onic might just be crazy enough to contest.
Hints of hesitation from the Super Fam as Liquid bursts down this Lord. Tlph and the back line holding the line. Free objective for the Cavalry.
And this is where we find out if Onic Philippines can stay in this game, facing down a massive deficit. Items are not where they need to be for them just yet, so they're going to have to pull something out of the hat here to stay in this game and possibly turn it around. This is going to be a massive win for Tlph if they can get it on this push here.
On the other hand, Team Liquid Philippines have played this game so well that Liquid losing this seems like such a massive impossibility at this point.
Save for the actually winning moment. This is the largest gold lead we've seen all series long.
Yeah.
So Liquid holding on to this is massive.
The Lord's up. Conceal's going to be used. They're going to punch this one into the base. Kelra trying to get some space. They got to deal with this Lord and manage it here.
JP jumps onto Brusco, bombs away from Kelra. King Kong dashing through the Salmon Force, the answer from Oheb. Lord still standing. Down goes Brusco. The base up next on the docket. Down bottom, King Kong going 1v1 with Sanji. The base barely up, 10% left, and Liquid have equalized. 2-2. Hold on, folks. We're going the long way around.
This ain't the chef anymore, the lone stallion with the rest of the cavalry. Good night, exit light, that's the Sandman coming into the field.
The arrows were on point. Sanji bringing out the secret weapon. Let's go ahead and throw it over to the panel to break it down.
And again, we are down to a best of 3 with the best of the best. Team Liquid Philippines put on the fastest game so far in the grand finals in the backs of Sanji, which for me, if Tlph wins, a potential finals MVP, because 11 and 13 was Sanford MVP, and I think it's time for a San duo to have it. If ever Tlph wins, but just like that, 2-2 again, Brigida.
Yep, and imagine, this guy is also our game MVP after bringing out the Selena. And in other terms, I'd say saving it for this moment. He never showed this hero, or barely showed this hero at all to all of us, but now he suddenly brings it out in the grand final in a very crucial moment to shift the momentum, to shift the tides in favor of Team Liquid Philippines. And again, we did mention it earlier before we actually entered the game that it has to be played aggressively. It has to be played in such a way that it'll just constantly disrupt whatever intentions Onic Philippines will have, and that is exactly what we saw. Brusco here felt like he couldn't even jump. He couldn't even look for a target because every now and then, he'd have to worry about all these abyssal arrows.
I mean, a strong start.
There you go.
From Team Liquid Philippines, to the point that the cameraman couldn't even catch up with the action because a lot of isolated clashes happened. A 2-0 strong start for Tlph, and this is actually one of the games that Micro was the main point. Speaking of Micro, there was a Kelra solo kill onto Oheb. Imagine seeing the shotgun again in action in the hands of the Beatrix, and not to mention Carl was able to even solo kill King Kong. And of course, when you talk about Micro, it's all about the arrows from Sanji. The monster mage had a taste of his own medicine. Imagine you're a Farzad just walking up, 2 consecutive abyssal arrows connects, you're bursted down immediately.
There's no way you can survive that. Not when you're on a flicker. Not when you have barely any resources to actually sustain such amount of burst damage. And even during these last few sequences of the game, you see he had to willingly use the flicker mid-feathered airstrike just to make sure that the abyssal arrows will not land onto him, just to make sure that he can maximize the amount of wave clear that he has, because they were that desperate. They had to do this much in order for them to hold on to their base. But Team Liquid Philippines, they did not let up. They made sure that they were able to end things at that moment, because yes, you did mention it. We saw the Wesker after quite some time, and those are options you can pick up, especially when you know that you are in the lead, when you can move a little more freely around the map. But when you're left to defend, it has to be the Nibiru, it has to be the Bennett, and Kellera had to use or shuffle between those two options just to get the game past a little longer, get past the 15-minute mark, and that didn't happen. Again, Team Liquid Philippines just forced their way through.
Yeah, honestly, even if Keller had 4 guns at the same time, it couldn't stop the onslaught, the attack of the cavalry in the final push. Every single member of the cavalry played their part so well. 6-12 kill scoreboard. A flawless KDA even for JP Sanford and Carl Tlph, who put on a show for game number 4. And again, we're back to 2-2. And I just can't hold on to the fact that imagine you're in a high-pressure situation and Sanji puts out the Selena game 4 and he pulled it off. I mean, I'm not doubting it, because we saw the game heroics of Sanji yesterday with the Farsa, the fast buy and sell Wintercroft plays to be able to come back from a potential loss up against Team Falcons. And now Tlph is just showing the defending champions that what you have, we also got it.
And actually, for just the second Joy game we've had from King Kong throughout the playoffs, it felt shut down again.
Yeah.
He barely could do what we usually would think King Kong would be able to do when he's on the Joy. The fast jungling wasn't that much
The
evident.
The turbo jungling pattern of the real Sigma King Kong. That was so long.
That was so long, but that was something we did not see at all, because the PPI rich guy of this game is actually Carl Tlph on that Hayabusa. We'll be looking more into how he was able to establish this much of a lead later on, but that's a 911 GPM. We barely see that in this game because, again, the games tend to go a bit longer than usual, but this is one of the fastest games. This is an absolute stampede that we saw from Team Liquid Philippines.
It's a comeback game from Carl Tlph after losing 2 Hayabusa games up against Onic Philippines in upper bracket finals. But Brigida, please explain, what the hell happened in game number 4?
Oh my goodness, a lot actually happened. A lot of arrows, a lot of charges coming in from Team Liquid Philippines. But in order to dissect it a little further, we'll be starting in from the gold difference timeline once again, which, if you would look at closely, barely went or absolutely did not go in favor of Onic Philippines. They had to take their time so much, and especially considering that Team Liquid Philippines, they were just able to secure the first turtle without all of their level 4s. They didn't go for the standard rotations, which made sure that they were on their level 4s before they actually took the objective, because they were preparing for a team fight whatsoever. They did not. They actually just went full aggression, threatened the members of Onic Philippines, zoned them out so well that they were able to burst down the turtle without any problems. And this aggression was led by JP and Sanji. JP, he kept on pressuring Kellera in lane. He kept on pressuring the other members of Onic Philippines so much to a point that they actually had to respect this Baksha. And it's not like we've seen instances wherein the Baksha had such an easy time before. There were a lot of times where in teams, they just built lineups that could directly punish the Baksha. You commit a mistake, you do not get to land on your key targets, then you can already say that you might fall in the hands of your opponents. But that was something we did not entirely see happen to JP, because he was just that much on point and accurate in terms of whoever he wanted to target on the Baksha. He applied so much pressure, and just that brief amount of time that you allow or you provide Sanji to actually land another arrow, it it was just chain CC and an additional layer of burst damage over and over again coming in from Team Liquid Philippines. Now, speaking of the pressure that JP did apply throughout the members or towards the members of Onic Philippines, there were direct responses necessary from them. If you would look at the item build so far, Kelra, he actually decided to first opt for the Sea Halberd before anything else. This was the item that he went for first because, again, JP was just so consistent. He had to constantly hunt him down, and he did secure this in less than the 5-minute mark. So they somehow had ways to answer back. But not even this was enough, because towards the 7-minute mark, you could already see the 5K gold lead that was existing between these two teams. That was just too much of a lead that you could definitely feel how Team Liquid Philippines just wanted to play it so aggressively. And I feel like it is most evident in terms of the jungler pickups or the jungler item pickups. The Hunter Strike, the BOD, they were already intact for Carl TZ. Whereas if you look at King Kong, it's only the Starlium side that he's able to build so far, and then his Holy Crystal came in at around the 12-minute mark. So it definitely took a bit more time for Onic Philippines to feel more comfortable, to feel like they could already hit, or they actually already hit their power spikes. So that just enabled Team Liquid Philippines again and again to play this game as aggressively. And we really have to give it to the mid duo for setting things up, for making sure that the tempo would be heavily in their favor. Now we look at the draft recap for Team Liquid Philippines and Onic in this most recent, in this game number 4. Team Liquid Philippines, despite the bumpy drafts that they had in the first few games, they're actually favoring the red side. So this is probably one of the examples in which we see Team Liquid Philippines playing to their strengths. 36.6 total crowd control time for Sanji in this game, which is actually considered as the shortest game we've seen throughout the series. And it has been a very reliable Selena for Team Liquid Philippines to just constantly go in and not be as afraid of Onic Philippines and their potential to counter or punish, because it felt like Brusco had no choice. Brusco and Kirk, it's their responsibility to keep their members, to keep their teammates safe. And whenever they actually did get to catch the arrows, then it was difficult playing as a team who was playing from behind, because it means that there is a high chance they actually get to poke you down low enough or even burst you down.
You know, I still can't grasp the fact that the total CC time of Sanji with the Selena was 36 seconds. If you'd combine the Badang and the Kufra, Sanji was still ahead by a lot of seconds. That was just that just goes to show how Sanji performed in game number 4.
The amount of crowd control Sanji had in that game were mostly converted into kills.
Yes.
If you were to look at the amount of crowd control combined by Kirk and Brusco, they weren't necessarily converted into kills. It was just more of them holding down the members of Team Liquid Philippines so they can't play as aggressively, so they can't just fully commit in the fights, because if they didn't do that, then there is a high chance the game would have ended way faster than it did.
More of a defensive crowd control compared to what Tlph was showing. And now the scoreboard 2-2. You know, we're so used to the grand finals of MPL being a 4-1 or a 4-0. And last season, it was Game 7. And I think we're en route to replicating what happened last S14 between Onic Philippines and Aurora. Because so far, I don't even want to predict anymore or say anything, because I can't see who's going to win.
Honestly, I do not want to predict anymore.
But we had to in the start.
We did, but
if you were to change a prediction,
I don't
For me, I won't.
I won't.
I still believe in the Sonics.
Mirko already did the
Mirror Curse.
So
Or could be a Mirror Bless.
Or it could be a Mirror Bless. It depends.
We
It
never
depends. But the way it's looking right now, the series is evened out. So it's literally back to what?
Best of 3. And we saw them with best of 3s. The first half of the regular season, Tlph was able to sweep Onic Philippines, and in the second half, it became a Game 3. So I think they're going to replicate it again. But of course, everyone wants to see a Game 3, win or lose. The action here in the Champions Arena is just so much. Again, I can already feel our stage here, our mini stage here, the English desk.
Panel.
English panel, sorry. Vibrating, shaking, because the drums, everyone. And you can see not everyone is seated because of how jam-packed Champions Arena is right now.
You need some time to breathe.
You need some time to relax.
You need some time to get out. I mean, the venue is pretty cold, so they also might want to warm their
You even have your own
hands
blanket.
a bit. I even have my blanket. I see the players while they're playing. it's weird, but you know, when they die, they tend to like warm their hands a bit with the hot water.
Yeah, I think we have to warm our hands for a bit right now because we have to pass the mic to our lovely host. It's going to be Hans and Jamie. Take it away.
Maraming salamat sa ating panelists. It is 2-2 ang ating score para sa Grand Finals. Nasa likod namin ngayon ang Super Fam. Of course, together with their country manager from Onic Philippines, Sir Rafael Sanchez. Boss Raf, bihira lang kita makausap dito on cam, but I want to know, because this is a really important milestone para sa Onic Philippines. I believe this is your first time representing the Philippines in MSC, correct?
Yeah, correct.
What is the significance of this? Anong ibig sabihin nito para sa iyo at para sa buong team?
I think yung significance kasi ng pagsama ng MSC kasi is, to be honest, yung pangarap namin magkaroon ng Golden Road. So yun yung gusto namin ma-achieve as a team.
I like it. Golden Road being achieved by the Philippines dito sa Onic Philippines. And I like it. The Super Fam likes it. I want to know more thoughts coming in from Jamie over here. Jamie, kamusta?
Thank you so much, Hans. And you can hear it. I am here at the camp of the cavalry. Let's go! Yes. You know what? We have Mr. Daniel Santoso, who traveled all the way from... Where did you travel from, Mr. Daniel?
Jakarta.
Jakarta, to be here to witness the games. You know, it's an important day. Now, Hans just talked about how important it is for Onic Philippines to represent the Philippines at MSC. What about you? How important is it for your organization that you have the representatives for MSC and MWI? How does it feel?
It feels truly amazing. I'm very proud of all of the players and all of the hard work that they've done. And being able to represent Team Liquid in, you know, the World Esports World Cup means everything to us. Winning is everything, and we're here to prove ourselves.
Winning is everything, and they are here to prove themselves. Hans, what can you say about that?
Now we're talking about winning this time around, Jamie. So I think this begs the question, Boss Raf, why is Onic Philippines more deserving of this Season 15 title than Team Liquid Philippines is?
Well, to be honest, either or of us are willing, are deserving. Because I know that the players of Liquid and even also on Onic are very hardworking. But in all honesty, for us, every international championship that we've joined, we've won. So I think we deserve MSC.
Every international championship is an instant victory. Jamie, what do you have to say about that?
Well, if that is what Mr. Sanchez says, Daniel, I want to know what your thoughts are. Why does Team Liquid Philippines deserve this win today?
Well, I also agree that, you know, both teams are deserving here. We're very grateful that, you know, we have these rivals that we've fought through, that we'll continue to improve ourselves. It's not just about winning today, it's about lifting the MLBB scene for the world to see just how much passion, just how much work that all these kids do. And we're just here and really happy, really proud for everybody. And made it best team win today.
I love that answer. May the best team win today.
Like it. Such a sport.
Hans.
Such a sport, Jamie. I like it. Now, with that being said, Boss Raf, nanggaling tayo sa Onic Philippines. You've been with the team for the longest time already, and you've watched the Super Fam grow. There are a lot of people supporting you and the entire team. Right here and moving forward sa MSC, ano ang mensahe mo para sa lahat ng sumusuporta?
Sa totoo lang, gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa amin. All to our loved ones, our fans, and the family. There were times na it was the hardest for us, the challenges that we overcome. But we're happy that no matter what happens, you've always stick through us. Actually, it's not even just the Sonic fans, but I would say everyone here in who is an MPL PH fan in general. Thank you for giving us more reasons to work hard. Thank you for giving us all these reasons to show you the best that we can. And thank you for always making sure that you guys are supporting us with all your heart. So thank you, everyone.
Maraming salamat din, Boss Raf. I want to know, vibe check from Super Fam or the Sonic family. What time is it? Everybody's alive. Jamie, kamusta naman dyan?
Daniel, you heard his message for the Super Fam. What about you? What is your message for all the ones supporting Team Liquid Philippines tonight? The ones who are here at the Champions Arena and the ones at home as well, and all over Asia and the world too.
Yeah, no matter where you're from, I'm extremely grateful for all of the support the fans are. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fans. Whether you're in the Philippines, whether you're in Indonesia, you know, the community is what we're all about. Look at this. The amazing community that we have is just amazing. And I think for all of the players, they would feel the same. I just want to say, let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go! Let's go!
There you have it, Hans. Let's go!
I like it. Buhay na buhay ang Champions Arena. We started off in a best of 7 and now it's only a best of 3. Who will take the next 2 games for the championship? Let's throw it back to our panel.
What time is it?
Let's go!
What time is it?
Let's go!
And it's time for our next matchup. And before all of that, I'd like to thank organizational heads. Imagine, they're so uplifting because the passion that they share with the fans is, yeah, you can clearly see it. And shout out to Boss Raf. That was a most professional way to trash talk your opponent.
I
Saying
know.
that we both deserve it, but we deserve it more.
Yeah, every time
we
we go
win.
out.
Yeah.
Or we join an international tournament, we win. So it's something that we definitely deserve. But Boss Dan on the other side.
Yeah.
It's about uplifting.
He took the higher road. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's
took the higher
about
road.
uplifting.
Yeah, he
the
thinks
MLBB
both
scene, yeah.
both deserve. It's uplifting the scene, and win or lose, they're gonna represent the Philippines anyway. So, props to them again. Fortunate that we have such very passionate organizational heads for the side of Onic Philippines, Team Liquid Philippines, and the rest of our organizations here in MPL. But now, again, we are faced with the fact that our best of 7 just got trimmed down to a best of 3 once again.
They've been able to even out the series again and again. It's not necessarily just reverse sweeps happening here and there. It's
No.
literally alternating game. No, not exactly alternating games, but you know, like
1-1.
it's a one.
TL, Onic, Onic, TL.
Onic, TL. So
Yeah, but the point is, you get the point. You get the point. It's evened
you
out.
get the point. You get the point.
And now things will change. Momentum will change as we enter the drafting phase of game number 5. Let's call on and ask help from the man with the biggest calves here in the Champions Arena, Redmar. Let's go.
Really glad you said calves there. Okay, Liquid Philippines fans out the Fanny the Kalea. Come on, pick off. Interesting. Okay, I think these are 2 teams already showing that they want to play for the Harith Granger trade, honestly. For Onic, it's due diligence. They take away the Matilda, but Liquid have their eyes set on the Harith Granger trade now.
Yep. Seems like at least for the past few games, Team Liquid Philippines, they will be going back to the blue side indeed. So Joy will be taken out for their last ban here. So yeah, majority, like most of the gold laners are still available out there, and so are the previously banned heroes such as the Lucas Jushin. There are still potential options here since Onic decided to ban out the Baksha instead.
Yeah, recently, one of the heroes Onic had to respect was even the chip of JP that can't pop out anytime soon, or if they want to get it for themselves, for Brusco, could still be an option. But apart from that, a lot of the first pickable heroes are still here, and they still decide to ban out the Lucas.
Wow. Okay. The oh my goodness!
It's his turn now.
Redmar, what are the chances of Tlph doubling down with a Luyi chip pick?
I've always been a believer that Luyi chip is extremely overkill. I, for one, see that Tlph are more willing to now pick up either Luyi Hayabusa or even Luyi Fredrin in the jungle.
That seems like a great way. I feel like there's been a game in this series where Team Liquid Philippines felt how difficult it was to have a lineup with no hero to manage the side waves.
Predixie.
So there goes the Fredrin alongside the Luyi.
Badang.
Oh, Then you get banned out. No, no. Oh.
Oh, I know. Yeah, of course. They need to go to the first phase with their Granger already picked up.
Going with reach once again for the Filipino Savage. Kelra goes with the Granger, and this is the second time this series we're seeing a Luyi and Chip present for both of these teams. So final pick for Onic Philippines. Still no jungler here for King Kong.
Yeah, and they can pick it later. However, because I mean, it's not like Liquid are gonna ban Ling and Lance and Hayabusa. They're gonna only ban one of those. Most likely, this will end up being an assassin in the hands of King Kong. So they go for the Kimmy first. Ooh. Okay, all right. Kimmy has popped up a bit as a soft response to the tanky fighter junglers.
Red Rins and all that. It'll be a lot easier to complement the Kimmy with the chip too, especially with the recent adjustments made on this hero. Once you do get in, you have a way to immediately reposition and not just put yourself in danger. So these picks so far from Onic, they're so heavy on damage, and you can expect like a very reliable output from them heading into this game.
We know that Kimmy is good paired up with Gatot Kacha, the two combos of the ultimates, but with the presence of Luyi on the side of Tlph, that not might be the best option for Onic Philippines at the XP laner right now. But they do, however, take out the Arlot that can be paired up. As you mentioned, you guys have been calling this combination that can pop off if unchecked.
They take out the Fabius too, although for Sanford, I believe the Blue and the Terizla, there's still options that they can consider heading into the second phase, considering that there is again a chip in the lineup of Onic Philippines.
Most likely a Glue Badang trade. Considering that Onic has the chip, they might be more encouraged to pick up the Badang. Because the Badang would absolutely mess up the chip lineup. So let's see if that's going to be the case. With the ban of the Hayabusa, Lancelot is the last best jungler available for King Kong. They might pick up the Lance here, and then they'll just adjust their EXP laner depending.
There you go.
There! Lancelot for King Kong up against the Fredrin of Carl TZ. Major throwbacks experience here again.
Whoa!
Whoa! Okay.
Oh, that's a big counter to the Kimmy. We played this early. Okay, pull back the curtains. We played this early in our ranked games. Courtesy of, I believe it was Midnight of the Lolita role playing it earlier, and he just kept reflecting it.
Yeah, and the best part is if you reflect.
Oh, and Leo was Clue, and it was really good.
You can pull. You can reflect the traction pulse, and it'll still pull the enemy. So it's like you're having a Kimmy on your side.
Yeah.
And Midnight actually mentioned this previously that in the backstage that players are actually exploring now the Lolita roam because of the resurgence of Kimmy in the mid or in the gold lane. And Kirk responds with a Sanford.
With a
Sanford, yes.
Kirk responds with a Terizla, I'm so sorry.
Yes, BOS stands for Body of Sanford.
Body of Sanford.
He's been the only guy playing it so far, so I understand. I went through that too. They banned the OHEB.
Yeah, banned the So far, I think we have more than two debut picks in the playoffs here in the grand finals. The Kufra, the Lolita. Now game 5 is fast approaching. What can you say about the swerve again for the side of Tlph?
I'm so excited for the Lolita, honestly. We'll finally be seeing it once again. And it's gonna counter so much. I feel like even Kelra has to be wary about the presence of the potential skills that will just come back to Onic Philippines later on whenever they do engage in a fight. But at least for King Kong, there's probably only the energy eruption that will stop him from dancing around the members of TL.
Down to a best of 3 in the grand finals. We Bear Bros, you got this.
Thank you very much, panel, and welcome back to the desk here. It's me, Nice Suit, Leo, and Renmar to bring you the action.
So far, previously unbeatable weapons out of their arsenals have already tasted defeat. Now a new weapon enters the fray, the Lolita.
Need some dominance ISIS up on board here for Onic. Actually, even for Team Liquid, there's a lot of shields going around, Spell Vamp going around the two lineups. Super Prince has Rupture, Wilderness Blessing. Okay, standard with emblem builds.
Yep.
Could be a difficult one for King Kong, but at the same time, I see a universe where this could actually be an okay game for him. Question is, how is it going to fare for the rest of Onic, considering, again, one of their biggest tools in the traction pulse of the Kimi could be reflected back into them. The basic attacks of the Kimi could be reflected back into them by the Lolita.
Yeah, JP's pick here is going to be crucial for TLPH, but I will say I am rather happy about our current meta in that down in the grand finals, we're still getting debut picks.
It's so wide open.
Yeah.
Again, there are games wherein you swore it was Badangable. Nary a shadow Badang shows.
Yep.
And Selena!
Yep. It's such a throwback. Again, Fredrin, man. He just straight up back at this point. Even
Baksha.
Lancelot too. Baksha too. When are the Banes and the Barrises gonna come
Ooh,
out?
don't get me tingly. I'm glad that Sanford's back, you know?
Yeah.
There's a reason why that penalty zone was such a game changer a couple years back.
Exactly, and Body of Sanford is a fantastic passive ability. Allows him to survive. So let's see if that's gonna come into play as Sanford on the glue. Is getting pressured just a bit, but no ganks. Oh, Onic are giving up this first turtle.
Sanji flickered forward, smells the blood and friends. Phantom execution, the answer by King Kong. Puncture it, and the first blood drawn. The Lone Stallion falls. JP, where's he going? They were all just playing faint because Liquid, they were working on the Lord. Turtle.
Liquid gets the turtle. That was a risk that Sanji was willing to take by burning the flicker.
Yeah, added to the Oxford Dictionary earlier this year, the word gigil. Now officially an English word, not just in Filipino. Search up what it means, but that's what Sanji showed there. Too much gigil, way too expensive, costed his flicker. He forced the flicker out of Super Frizz, but they gave a kill to a hero that they did not want to give a kill to.
Yeah, so going back to the whole point about King Kong, in this game, specifically on the Lancelot, getting an early kill like that, probably is going to give him a little bit of confidence and room to work with now to go ahead and scale up the way that he wants to. Early game even, and they'll have to play around it.
Okay, the items. Oh, Molten Essence straight for Tlph, of course. So that he could farm up a little bit quicker. Brusco might get caught out. Shortcut.
Tlph answered by the shortcut. There's his Summon Force dropped by Kelra. Appraiser's Wrath. Shutting down Brusco. In goes JP. That's a quick turnaround for Liquid. Down goes Kirk and friends.
That's one bonk and then two bonks that come through with this composition.
Bonk. Oh my god! Numenon Blast!
It's been a minute.
It's been a while, so I guess timing fights with it isn't natural anymore. Kelra coming in 2v1. Brusco to the rescue. Liquid backing out.
I will admit, I have been desperately crawling in my memory banks to remember the ultimate of the Lolita. So I'm glad that you said it. The Nyum Nyum Blast. Oh, friends!
Friends gets popped here. Who would have thought that there wasn't enough firepower between a Fred and a Lu Yi this early?
I wonder how many people have literally looked at that ultimate and tried to say it.
Numenon is an actual word, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
It's not made up.
It's not made up. Wasn't created in the Land of Dawn. But that's essentially, you saw the interaction between having an Appraiser's Wrath, having the Numenon Blast available to you. There's a whole lot of area that Onic Philippines does not want to get caught in.
Glue, Lo Yi, and Lolita, along with the Fredrin all together to supplement a strong backline gold laner. We are so definitely back. King Kong misses, so does Kirk.
Oh man, Kirk committed the penalty zone there. And it's the same play, look at this. Liquid go for the turtle one more time for free.
They don't want to go for these objectives. They're going to diversion now up top. They're in a threat here for King Kong's jungle.
Oh, I could have sworn they had ill intentions for the king there. Let him go. Scot-free.
I thought, like, once they saw that the orange buff was pulled or it wasn't there, it's like, hey guys, maybe we should try invading this. But no, they didn't want to waste the time to check and confirm it. The Grand Final Pocket Pick, the last time Lolita was played in a Grand Final match, I remember this so well. Season 11 by then Echo Romer Yaoi versus Blacklist International. If I'm not mistaken, that was in game number 2.
And Yaoi won.
Yeah.
That was the season they became champions.
Yeah, and of course that Lolita for then Echo. That Lolita was what costed them the Season 10 Grand Final. So wait, King Kong.
King Kong could be in trouble. Phantom Execution's on out. Tlph though.
Kirk looking for an entry. Tlph very low. Penalty zone once again. Zaman Force by Kelra. Now goes Brusco. Trade off for Tlph. 1-for-1 the exchange. Make that a 2-for-1. Kirk
Oh,
Mopping the floor with the Sanford. Super Prince goes down. Oheb finds him within range. Kirk still wailing away. Glue versus Terizla. Terizla versus Glue. This could go on for days. Here comes Oheb to finish the job. Kirk, where you going? Kirk, BOS doing its job.
Oh!
Finally, he bites it.
Man, the body of Smith, the body of Sanford will help you, but not enough to deal with the bullets from Oheb.
He took a lot of time. The Team Liquid Philippines eventually got the trade they needed to get. They will not be able to convert it into a tower. Maybe they can. Sanford with the zone out, and they do get the major trade, not just with the bodies, but with the towers as well. Liquid solidifying their lead and control in this game, number 5.
Oh, the diversion. They sent Tlph out. Just enough time to spot the purple take by King Kong. Onic are holding on this mid lane tier 1.
Yeah, they're going to be able to hold on to that, but this turtle, I don't know if they're just going to give all the turtles up here. King Kong working on his orange, but this is just blitz, so that's going to be 3 for 3 in the turtles for TLPH. We'll see if Onic Philippines wants to go ahead and contest that first Lord once it's up. But right now, turret, it does go down in the bottom lane, so they at least put 1 on the board. Onic Philippines will have to go ahead and scrap around with what they can, because it seems like, again, they're just kind of at the whims of answering to this aggression that TLPH has thrown at them right now.
Yeah, King Kong's been able to farm up well, but again, there's only so much Lancelot can do in the sequences. The only time he actually got to get a kill was that early aggression by Sanji, over-aggression, which in the big picture of it all was actually just chump change they were willing to give to Onic. Now they might get this tower in mid.
Coming in, penalty zone from Kirk. Counter out with the Zaman Force. Brusco pushing the rest of Liquid back. They've cut through the formation. Oheb backing out here. Numenor blast flicker forward. Super Red gets caught. Oheb gets a kill. Down goes counter 2. 2K for kill 1. The diversion by Sanji. Covering all the bases. Liquid don't want to take no prisoners. Sanji and Tlph pushing King Kong out.
This is a problem right now. Oheb is online, locked in, 5-0-2, and just gets the BOD.
Numenon Blast in the clutch again for JP. After that error with the chip earlier in this series. Previous game, it was the Basha. This game is the little Lita. Daddy JP has been showing up for the kids.
He is a man on a mission. He will not let his legacy be tainted by that chip. One more look at that gameplay here.
This is so good. Again, the shortcut comes through.
Bang!
But that Numenor Blast stops them in their tracks. Yeah. And that really wasn't the shortcut angle that you were looking for in that exchange anyway in the mid.
Yeah, add to that the taunt by Tlph to solidify that kill and that win in the center. Onic are still very close in terms of the resources. They have items on Kelra, very far away though from the Holy Crystal. He's still on the Starlium side and the Feather of Heaven, so it's going to take a lot of time. Super Prince as well is struggling with the items. They have gold, money, damage on King Kong, but they need significantly more. They're going to give this up.
Yeah, Lords for the taking here.
Unless.
I'm not sure if Onic Philippines really wants to contest this. It's being blitzed down though.
Brusco with a conceal, coming in from an off angle, sets up the shortcut. Lord still in a very perilous position. Retribution unneeded. Sanji scores it, and Kirk here gets pulled in. The grab serves up another stack for
Diversion.
Oheb.
Diversion.
Where are they sending it? Right behind Super Prince. Tlph and the gang finds him. Mr. 2K helping baby cakes. Double kill for Oheb.
7-0-2. Oheb to some, kill 1 to others. To his enemies, the last thing they never see.
To Brigida, the Oheb. And now in the mid lane, they're going to push in a little bit further. The shields are going to pop. And this is a moment. Still, Lord is up. TLPH, how are they going to continue on this? And Onic, what do they do here?
They split push. Look at King Kong here. Committing Grand Theft Purple, pushing that tier to a top. And he needs to get back home. That inhibitor is in jeopardy. Look at the back line here. Numenor Blast one more time. No flicker. In comes Brusco. Shortcut coming through. Sanford trying to clear this spot here for Oheb to fire back. Down goes
King
Brusco.
Kong.
Traded out for Sanji. Tlph very low as well. JP gonna bite it. Bulwark able to save him for just that much longer. A winning trade for Onic, but they do lose their inhibitor.
I asked what could they do, and that's exactly what they did. They split push, they come in with a shortcut, they get a double for King Kong, and they get some much-needed gold in the hands.
Yeah, Kirk and Brusco, who both have Radiant Armors to boot, and an anti-Cuirass on the Terizla. They opened it up, they gave Onic that opportunity, and it was a brilliant follow-up from the Super Fam. As JP was forced to commit his Flicker out, he could not use the Flicker Numenon Blast to turn the fight around. He had to use the Numenon Blast defensively, and Onic just waited for the animation to end before they entered, before King Kong got his double kill.
Onic pulled the trigger at the very right time. If that fight happened underneath their Tier 3 turret, and when the Numenon Blast would be favorable for JP to pull, it would have been over. Like, there's a world I see where this is done.
Yeah, it definitely could have been, and with that, it was a good response because they chose that fight once they saw that opportunity. And it's always the case, like anytime we have a Louis and a Chip on these teams or on the playing field, you know that those ultimates are going to be crucial here. Once again, the diversion has played a part. It's even good for faking things out, but so is that shortcut where Brusco has to be a little more calculated with this. So items, are they looking pretty good for Onic now?
Yep, already with the Holy Crystal on Kelra, so Team Liquid Philippines have to be more strategic with how they take their fights to ensure that they get to put pressure onto Kelra. Super Friends actually built up a Demon Hunter sword. Again, there are elements of Kimmy's kit, most importantly her abilities that also scale with physical damage as well. And of course, we know with Kimmy, the more attack speed you build onto her, she does get more magic power as well.
So DHS, a winner of an item here for Super Friends, might provide that power spike they're looking for. Help them maybe contest. I don't know, man. I'm not in a position to say if they should, because that's a good position for Brusco.
Yeah. We'll see how they do it. He's actually he's going to get spotted out. Okay.
The jig's up. The jig is up. Whoa!
Shortcut.
Numenon Blast to respond. A couple of big ticket ults though. Brusco's going the long way around, man. This is a Pamela angle. Here comes the rest of Liquid. Popping the Bruiser. And look at this, Onic. This is a clear go sign. When the cat's out, the mouse goes blaze. Sanford gets that grab on the King Kong. 4v1. In comes the rest of the cavalry from the back.
Here they come. He can't get away. Still going to be worked on. Sanford now half health. Do they just go for the Lord? It's been started up by Carl TZ. You know, Super Friends will keep Sanford at bay, but they have no choice without Brusco to just get ready for the defense.
The Lord looks good in blue this time around as they score another one.
The Apex Predator held down the line. And I want to go back to see what Brusco did. He could have used that that Y walk to go somewhere way safer. But I felt like that was telegraphed. He wanted to try to pull the attention of Team Liquid, which he did, to force an answer so that they would commit the diversion to him, which they did. Onic just did not have enough resources to bliss down the Lord as Sanford stuck with the Lord. Yeah. Team Liquid Philippines telegraphed the move that Onic wanted to do. Great MLBB by these two teams.
Again, it's just showing how much these teams know about each other and about high-level decision-making. Onic Philippines is going to have to make that happen here as they defend full force into the base. You saw Brusco off on the side, though. He might look for his angle here on the back line.
Traction Pulse already spent up. Kelra with the Salmon Force. Massive DPZ here. Sanji gets taken down. JP barely alive. Look at the back line here. Oheb blasting away at King Kong. Down goes JP. Kelra getting two so far. This is looking like Onic have picked a good fight. Liquid should back out of here. Down goes Sanford.
And with that defense, Onic Philippines will find 3 kills and stay in the game.
Liquid gets nothing.
Brusco with the gank. The Bruiser coming up big time. Bruises do heal, but the emotional damage from what he did just now does not. Oh no,
Here comes the rest of them. It's not over. Another Salmon Force. Underneath tier 2 this time around. Kelra takes down Oheb. And Carl TZ to boot.
All part of the plan, says Brusco, as Redmar was just talking about it.
That was Aftershock.
Liquid are turning purple, black, and blue. Brusco, 2 massive shortcuts, massive plays on the chip. I thought he stood there for nothing, but he was able to get the shortcut off in time, just as he was going down. As we look at the instant replay, this was the gank
Conceal, Flicker committed, Oheb got space, but Carl Teasy was busy with Super Friends. He used the Appraiser's Wrath, but Super Friends already flickered before that. Sanford went in, last shot to King Kong, but Oheb could not help him out as Brusco was covering Oheb's sentry. And now Onic have made this an even ball game. This could go anyone's way. The towers lean towards Liquid, but if they have another massive error again, then Onic might run away with it.
Again, we'll find ourselves in this position where Onic had to crawl back at one point. They've done that, and now they have evened out the field for this Lord take here in 10.
They've been so good at breaking up Liquid's formation. As soon as I saw the traction pulse not get hit by the bulwark, and Liquid just go, okay, we'll still go anyways. That was a clear sign that Onic was comfortable. And when Onic is comfortable, you better not be the opposing team because they tend to do things like this now. Onic, not even looking at the Lord. This should be a singular sign of something's up.
Something's up here.
Yeah.
You see how much threat Kirk has too because of what just happened in that base defense. He was able to get the penalty zone on multiple members, so Tlph has to not be sure that they don't clump up because that's exactly where Kirk wants to go, especially when that flicker is available. So they'll go ahead, have it reset for now, grab the buffs that they need, and then get ready. You can see Counter's holding on to that purple buff for now. And this could be a game-winning Lord really at this point for both the teams.
50-50. Brusco staying with King Kong with a split push, so just in case someone decides to gank up there, he has backup. Chip can get here fast though. Sanford holding the beacon.
Oh,
they're going.
In comes Brusco, Y walk plus a shortcut, flicker spent. Lumen on blast underneath does not stop the Sigma jungler from taking the Lord. Black and yellow, this major objective will be. Liquid still alive, the rest of Onic as well. JP coming through, looking for that bug. Diversion up from the back line. Not much of a play. Sanji and Sanford can make from that angle. King Kong answers with a Thorn Rose. Nothing phased Onic.
No one goes down in that whole interaction, but the Lord ultimately secured by King Kong.
King Kong, of course, one of the major strengths of the Lancelot. Press Thorn Rose and you are out of the map for a moment. And there were so many things going on that he was in a safe retribution spot. At this point, I would not be surprised if you told me that King Kong was made in a lab somewhere.
Hey, back in what? His debut was it season 9, season 10?
12.
Season
11.
On TSC, I remember when he was making those retributions back then in his rookie season, we were saying, and look how he's performing now, you know, up to this point.
That's a world champion you're talking about.
That's a world champion. But we saw the potential back in the rookie season, and right now it's Onic Philippines with a huge momentum leading into the base of Tlph. Lord's going to charge into the top turret. They'll hold it together. Kirk has the penalty zone, but no flicker. So they might just try to get turrets for now, not try to force the game win push yet.
We've seen many Lolita defend from inside their base and clap it back. So this is something Onic respects very well.
It's one massive Numenon blast versus one massive penalty zone. Kirk landed a really good one there in that last fight. Didn't lead to kills, but it gave Onic the win in the big picture. More minions coming in for them, and they continue their siege.
Okay, base is going to be worked on still. Waves are pushed in, but I think that's all they get. Gentlemen, this is just going to get the top turret. So this is going to be a long game. This is going to be one of the ones that goes the distance here so far in the series. Next to the next Lord, it's a minute away. But we could still see what we saw back in, game 2, when you have a Loyi and a Chip in play. They can go for a surprise factor. Are there anything that could happen here with the items? I know they're not completely locked in.
Okay, so the Rose Gold Meteor from Oheb is a great item choice. Keller decided to go for full damage. No Blood Wings around here. Concentrated Energy, Divine Glaive, even the Wishing Lantern. So that Rose Gold Meteor will come in the clutch for Oheb. For how much, we'll see. JP now just built up an anti-Karash, should help with the damage output a bit of King Kong, and it even reduces a little bit of the damage output of the Kimmy, again considering that the Kimmy abilities scale with physical and deal physical that will proc anti-Karash stacks on the Kimmy of Super Friends.
I'm impressed that Kirk isn't building any damage items, like not even a War Axe.
Yeah.
Like he knows he's a penalty zone machine.
He's just the guy to jump in. You know?
Just a guy with a big hammer.
Just a big hammer.
It's just a wall.
You know? You go through life sometimes. That's a burden itself.
Whoa, what?
Sounds too real. Are we still talking ML?
Yeah.
Man.
Talking about Kirk here, man.
Ah, yes. I like how that was great. But now I'm getting quite reflective and overthinking everything. Anyways, Onic still sticking with his formation of 2-3 with Brusco hovering around where King Kong is. Playing on the possibility that King Kong might be able to split push as the objective is up. Good control of the shrubs. Good formations from both, although Liquid Philippines cannot play the same spread as Onic. They have to play close, they have to play tight. I think if they can force a very early engagement by Onic, that should be their turnaround point.
Both buffs are up here, so they'll give Kettle the purple. King Kong is going to go grab the orange, and Tlph working on theirs as well. Both roams going to be playing a crucial part here. JP too, if he can get a Numenon Blast with the flicker available, that could turn the tide of this fight, and that's why it's going to be they're going to take their time with this. And they continue to do this. We saw Onic Philippines pretty much do this all game. They'll go ahead and plant King Kong alongside Brusco up top on the long portion of the map. And I would say it's a minor advantage. You know, they have that long lane, whereas instead, Onic only lost that mid turret.
Yes, and to add to that, Onyx kit, what they're threatening Liquid with is a surprise from an off angle. You can only cast Numenon Blast from a certain angle. If Brusco finds you from the behind, that's so much harder for JP to recover from.
Okay.
Unless he flickers backward.
Yeah, it's the Euro step.
The Euro step.
Euro step fade away 360 Numenon Blast.
Yeah, made popular by Ben Things.
Yep.
But again, it's easier said than done.
You also have to consider that the Guardian's reflection of the Lolita does reflect the basic attack of the Harith. It counts as a projectile, so that might come into play later on. I think, again, besides the Numenon Blast, it's really the Guardian's reflection that Onic want to play around. But their damage output is so great at this point that they burn that Guardian's reflection so quickly.
Right now, we'll see if they can... This Lord hurts.
What is this positioning? Tlph holding the shrub. I think they're going to try and set up either for a diversion or a conceal play from that middle shrub later.
Yeah. They'll try something they haven't tried all game long.
Yeah. All right, they put Tlph in a roam-style positioning to try to get vision for his own purple buff. It's like, I'm the roam now.
I think you just kind of have to. Like, you got to get... We were in this position, a couple games ago where you just got to get creative, you know? And it was, unfortunately, it was the other way around. So right now, Tlph, they'll just kind of see what they can get the information that they need here.
They're flushing Brusco out.
Yeah.
They would rather face Brusco head on and then force a respond with a shortcut, because so far, Onic doesn't like that. Onic doesn't like when shortcut comes in as a reactionary ult.
Yeah, they're looking for the chip first. That's why Brusco decides to back off. Onic shifted their position into something more defensive, because they know that if they can find Brusco, they can use the diversion to quickly get back to the objective. Sanford can hold on for as long as he could against that. Now a shift again, a long dance around the map, not just around the objective pit at this point. The top minion wave though. Let's see if Liquid will try to find a way to leverage that, knowing that Onic knows that Liquid wants to control that.
There could have been a fight breaking out. Prince threw out a traction pulse. Odd.
Maybe that's just the chance. You know, like, oh, if I grab someone with the traction pulse, then great, we can maybe start this up. But they'll start the Lord up anyway for now here.
Yeah, 40 has vision. 40 knows that Onic wants to dance. Onic is beckoning Liquid to respond. Lord here, less than half health. King Kong is not in vision, so even 40's looking for him.
Yeah, and Onic are very smartly holding the middle shrubs because they know if ever Liquid are on the other side of the map, that is the most likely shrub Sanji would want to enter. So they're also denying the potential of a diversion play through there, and I think Sanji's thinking the same way.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, fantastic macro from these two, managing the minion waves, trying to play around their big ticket teleportation ultimates. And now Tlph are trying to force a reaction. They show themselves up top, but Onic are not biting the bait.
They're not going to bite the bait here, man. Sanford is just able to go ahead and plant himself and give the vision.
Welcome to late 2022. Lord dances would go on this long. This is the normal tempo of a late game Lord dance. What's going on? Diversion. Just a feint.
Yeah,
Wonder if Onic saw that.
Kirk got to see it. Actually, since Kirk went in there, Sanji decided to call it off. 1,156 Skypiercer stacks on this Granger. It's not a question of does OHEB have a damage, it's more of a question of does TLPH have enough to hold on long enough, considering that the late game magic damage scaling of the Kimmy and Harith is what's making their front line crumble relatively quickly.
Yeah, this is probably the most stalemate we've had. I feel like maybe in the playoffs even, but definitely in this series where neither team can really give it a go. You know, they have such big macro ultimates available to both of them that they really have to be decisive on it. And that's the thing, when you're looking at this.
Oh, Brusco?
Why walk?
Are they? Oh no, he's trapped.
Oh no, Brusco's going to be trapped. He's going to need the help.
There's a retribution by Tlph. Numen on blast. Here comes the rest of Onic. They pop Brusco's immortality.
Good.
Here comes the Zaman Force and the sling from the puncture. Down goes Tlph. No trade so far. Liquid finding it hard. Look at the back line. Another catch. Brusco will go down.
Oh, Brusco goes down. Sanford immortality going to be popping. Look at the
They're
lane.
setting up a split push.
It's a base race.
OM and Sanji. Rico's coming through. Here comes Kirk first. Super Prince flickers forward. And the base falls. Textbook vintage Liquid.
To call back to the 7-year history of our league, Liquid vintage. And it's not just vintage, it's signature for Liquid.
Oh, they came out of the stables and went with their own stampede. 3-2 right now. Let's throw it over to the panel to break down the game.
I mean, look at the Champions Arena right now.
What just happened? Oh my god! The DNA! Renmar has been saying this all throughout. The DNA of Team Liquid Philippines. Still in there. The split push. After, how long was that? 24, 25 minutes?
26?
Imagine you had to endure a long game like that and you would lose to a team like TLPH via split push when you were already able to take down 2 members of the cavalry.
It looked so good for Onic Philippines, like that entire last sequence where they could have clearly punished Team Liquid Philippines' attempt to take down Brusco, but oh my goodness. Again, it indeed wasn't a question of whether or not this guy already has damage.
Yeah.
And I fear it wasn't neither holding out long enough for this guy to deal out the damage. It was buying enough attention so they could utilize his damage in other areas and in other ways to close out the game.
And that was through a turret crystal push in the middle lane, set up by the diversion again of Sanji. Our game MVP is the regular season MVP of S15, no other than the latest addition in the cavalry, OHEB, with an amazing game. Started out strong, even came to a point where he was at 8-0-0 before he got taken down in a crucial moment. And all throughout, you could feel that the momentum has been shifting. The pendulum kept swinging. You really didn't know who was winning.
Yeah.
It started out strong with TLPH with an aggressive start, despite Sanji actually getting bit by the first blood. And you can continuously see JP very active with the Lolita, not just with the Bulwark Shield, but also 2 consecutive Numinum Blast that set the tone and aggression of the Team Liquid Philippines.
Yeah, and Sanji, you did mention he was the first blood, but that was an exchange of the objective. It was an exchange of the turtle that Team Liquid Philippines got earlier in the first few minutes of the game. And eventually they were just able to hold on to this lead that they had. There were so many beautiful Numenon blasts coming in from JP throughout the, I'd say up until the 10th minute mark, like this moment more or less, because this was when Onic was able to look for a way to clap back. This was when they were able to slowly gain control over the map as well and limit Team Liquid Philippines in terms of what they're able to do. And this was the play which actually maybe not just evened out the game, but put it a little more in terms of Onic, in terms of the advantage.
Yeah.
Onic Philippines felt that they could play things a lot more aggressively than they were able to do so in the past few minutes because of that play, but we have to look closely on how the decision came into play for TLPH. Sanford bought enough time But just when you thought that they just walk towards the base, once you take down Sanford, you could already end the game because that's 2 Hanky members already gone for a minute. They just decided to use the diversion all the way to Onic Philippines and their base.
Yeah, right straight to the goal. And if we were to hear a mic check for any of the games that we will witness today, I would surely pick this one. What were the comms? What were the comms of both Tlph and Onic? And looking at the game time, 26 minutes. Actually, the previous game was an anomaly. 14-minute game. Even came to a point where in day number 3 of the playoffs, we were already at 5-hour runtime with all the games. But it was a relatively close game. But in the end, the decision, the decisiveness of Tlph to really go for the goal, sacrifice Sanford, go for the diversion play in the middle lane, split push, resort back to their DNA and to their old tactics to beat a god like Onic.
If it were, or if this game ended in maybe less than 20, less than 15, it'll be all about the Lolita. It would have been all about the Lolita. Like, we would just be talking about Luminon Blast, we would just be talking about the Guardian's Reflection and the way they're always able to deny Onic Philippines of the amount of damage that they have, but it went past that. It went way past the 20-minute mark. So this boiled down to macro, this boiled down to who was the more patient team, who made the better and the right calls in that game, and it nearly was a wrong call for Team Liquid Philippines that Onic clearly capitalized on, but they just bounced back. They just regrouped and said that there is another way out of this.
Yeah, DNA, their DNA champion is still there. They're calm, composed up against a team like Onic Philippines. And if the game were to end by the 3rd Lord, one of the few standouts would be Kirk, because Kirk kept them in the game despite the 2 Lord pushes of Tlph. He also had 2 consecutive 4 or 5-man penalty zones to even out the score, and as you mentioned, give Onic a slight advantage. But again, our BPI rich guy, no matter what he says, it's still gonna be the Filipino sniper, Oheb.
Yeah, the Filipino sniper who barely died in this game.
Two
I think at
deaths.
most 2 deaths. Yeah. On the Granger, who was just heavily protected. He always had the Lolita by his side, and there were people, there were heroes in Onyx lineup that were reliable to actually hunt down Oheb, such as the Lancelot, but King Kong had to calculate his dashes. He had to make sure that he wouldn't be put in such a dangerous position, even though he wanted to carry that out.
Yeah, and I think the camera is going to pan back out to us, but no, not us, just you. So Brigida, take the floor again.
All right, it's just me now. The next few segments will indeed be a deep dive regarding what took place and what happened in that game. And starting off once again, I feel we have to take a look at the goal difference timeline, which went through a major shift by the time we reached the 14-minute mark. Again, during the 9-minute lore, that was a lore that went into the hands of Team Liquid Philippines. That was when they were slowly and gradually able to take control of the map. But if you look closely towards the 14-minute mark, that was actually when Onic Philippines were able to pull off a team fight that were able to shift the tides in their favor. There were a couple of moments wherein it felt like there was almost nothing happening across the game, but that was just really both Onic Philippines and both Team Liquid Philippines being very patient in terms of what they wanted to do next, because this was a game which initially felt like you could just go all out in terms of the Numenon Blast, in terms of the setups, in terms of throwing out the damage, since it came in early for the cores here of Team Liquid Philippines. It came in early for Oheb to dish out the necessary damage, but it was something, or it was a game that was prolonged long enough by Onic Philippines, so it didn't necessarily matter. And it wasn't entirely about the team fights anymore. It was more about the decisions that could happen because they could play around with the map as well, given that they had the chip in their hands. And now, looking at the item progression, this is where I feel like I have a lot more key things to talk about with regards to how the game actually progressed. So the way that JP just really wanted to provide that assistance to his teammates and especially to Oheb was reflected in the way that, again, the Flask was the priority pickup here for them. So if you would recall the first few minutes wherein even though Onic Philippines wanted to play a little more aggressively, there was King Kong, of course, who could just use the puncture to dash towards his key targets, then you could rely on JP, especially if you stay with him long enough. There will be some additional shields that you could get from him, and that'll allow you to sustain the fights a little longer. And in response to all the sustain, there was also a Demon Hunter sword pickup coming in from Super Prince around the 13-minute mark of the game. And again, this is the beauty of seeing a Kimmy. There is just so much flexibility and versatility that can come into the way you decide to go about the builds. You can either go for the typical Kimmy builds when you put her in the gold, but once you put her in the mid, there are a bit more options to choose from. And this probably has been definitely felt when we extended the game a little longer. But ultimately, again, it was the macro that mattered. It was the macro that allowed Team Liquid Philippines to eventually close out this long game.
Yeah, and what matters to Onic Philippines now is to do everything they can to extend this series. Because right now, the Cavalry is making some noise. They're now on match point against the defending champions. So, whew.
We need some time to breathe.
We need some time to breathe. We need to have a change of scenery. So let's check out what's happening at the MPLPH playgrounds.
Superfans, this is your very own Odin, and we're here right now at MPL Philippines 7-year history wall. So this features the highlights that we've had sa loob ng 7 taon from 2018 to 2024 na nangyari sa history ng Pilipinas sa MLBB. And we have a fan here na mga kasama. Hello! What's your name?
My name is Joko.
Joko, so sa ating 7-year history, ano ang pinaka-paborito mo nangyari?
For me, yung year na pumasok yung Bren sa M2 Worlds, I think 2019 to 2020.
Pre-pandemic to pandemic, yan ang peak ng paglalaro mo ng ML. And up until now, you're here, ha? Sobrang masaya kami na we're sharing this floor with you. And bakit nga ba Bren lang malakas para sa'yo?
Favorite ko kasi si Tlph. So, at that season, medyo na-addict na ako sa ML.
Nung time na yun, ang bata pa ni Tlph, young goat talaga siya, and up until now, I assume na siya pa rin ang sinusuportahan mo, right?
Yes, I support Team Liquid for this season. Sobrang gusto ko yung play style nila.
Wow! So ngayon ay malinaw na malinaw, kahit di pa natin tanungin kung sino champion niya, Tlph para kay Joko. Thank you so much, Joko! And if you wanna visit our MPL Philippines 7-year history, madadaanan niyo siya bago kayo pumasok ng Champions Arena. See you around! We're here right now with the Infinix Fancy Laban champions for Season 2, the Cavalry! Hello, boys! Introduce yourselves, your IGN, and your role.
Echo, Mage. Rome po. Ayato sa X-Lane. Si Ansay Jungle. J, Gold.
So for the second time around, sila ang nagkampiyon sa ating Infinix Fancy Laban, nakakatapos labang na ginanap dito sa MPL Playgrounds. So Echo, ano naman pakiramdam na 2-time champion na kayo?
Sobrang saya po.
Wow, sobrang saya ngayon ni Echo. Ano ba yung preparations na ginawa nyo knowing na sasalang ulit kayo at nakaabot kayo ng championship?
Practice lang and then scrim sa mga ibang teams lang.
So may mga ka-scrim din talaga kayo?
Yes, naghahanap po kami.
Pero nakakalaro nyo ba yung pro team ng Tlph or sobrang busy nila?
Ibang MDL teams lang po.
Oh, MDL teams ang nakaka-scrim. So ganun kayo kalakas, nasasabay nyo yung mga MDL teams. Kumusta naman so far yung experience nyo dito sa MPL Playgrounds?
Sobrang saya din po. Nakaka-EJ po siya sobra dahil sa mga boots po.
Ay, siguro naman. Alam natin kung sino magcha-champion para sa inyo. Oh, isang cheer naman para sa Tlph dyan.
1, 2, 3. Let's go, Liquid!
Okay. Energetic sila sa loob ng MLBB. Balik na muna sa inyo.
Thank you so much, your very own Odin, for giving us an insider of what's happening at the MPLPH playgrounds. It's also jam-packed. We just saw the back-to-back champions of our Fansik Laban. And of course, she talked also about the 7-year history of MPL. So far, what has been your favorite memory in the span of 7 years?
For me, I guess it's M5. Really.
Oh, don't take mine. That's mine also.
We
can
both
share.
had, like, Oh, whoa, wait.
Oh! Oh! That's our clear head super fan of the day, and I
Whoa.
believe he's also a singer here locally in the Philippines. And did you know that men like me get 5 times more dandruff versus women like her scalp?
What?
Use Clear Men with 3 times triple anti-dandruff power for 100% dandruff-free hair.
Because apparently no one understands men like Clear. So power up your dandruff scalp, supercharge with Clear. I can't believe that's real.
Yeah.
His hair looks like it's straight out of an anime or something.
Fortunately for it's good timing that Clear's entered the picture in the MPL scene, because finally my hair has grown and I can finally use shampoo, just like our super fan there who had a luscious, very luscious hair.
Oh yeah, you gotta use shampoo so you could, of course,
Smell
avoid
good.
dandruff and smell good. Like Clear has, it got your back. So I hope you guys got some freebies if you did visit us here.
Yeah, but if you don't have hair and can't use Clear, you can still enjoy other stuff like Time Zone has an exclusive promo just for you. Get for 100 pesos. Power load for only 200 pesos.
All you have to do is register on the Time Zone Fun app, insert the promo code TZXMPL, you're seeing it right there, and redeem the voucher at any of your favorite Time Zone venues. Don't miss out on this amazing deal.
You know, I love it when we have a lot of spiels because that means we're really, really growing, and we're still not done because you can get a 2,000 pesos discount on your next purchase by using the TT Racing X MPL Philippines exclusive voucher code MPL2000 over at ttracing.ph.
Plus, don't miss out on exciting TT Racing gaming chair giveaways during MPL Philippines. Just stay tuned for more info.
Just remember, for those who dream, work, and play, TT Racing has your back. And now you really want to use that voucher code because earlier they debuted an amazing collab with Naruto, and I have my eyes set on getting that Kakashi. And Hans earlier on interviewed that the price actually went down, and with this code you can get it at 12,999 pesos only. So that's a steal, honestly.
That's for the Kakashi chair. There are other
Naruto
prices for the other chair, so you might want to check it out. I honestly miss sitting on a TT Racing chair, you know, but
you know, it's so durable that if you bring it up here, you will fall down.
What? we haven't tried, and maybe we shouldn't.
We shouldn't try
because there's someone right under us. The teams, Onic Philippines.
Who chose blue side?
Yeah,
Did they choose blue side?
Their staff are right under us. I feel like it was indeed Onic Philippines who went for the blue side.
Oh, and now you can see all-time MSC kills. Kelra leading by almost a landslide. Second is Benny Cutie, and of course it will also increase once MSC at EWC 25 will start. But all-time M-Series kills, on the other hand, is not Kelra, not Benny, but none other than our reg season MVP. It's Oheb. So, you know, I just like MPL Philippines keep showing us stats that heighten the rivalry of Oheb and Kelra that will get settled.
Yeah.
Now.
And I saw the Baby Cakes duo there too, in terms of those standings. So they've already gotten a lot of kills throughout the M series, and they can potentially get more. But for now, how are they ending this season?
How will they be able to extend their tournament life? Match point for Team Liquid Philippines. And we have to call, of course, I don't have any more intros, Redmar, so please just jump in.
That in itself is an intro. I will count it. So Liquid going for the backshot Harris to start things off. Granger's gonna end up in the hands of Onic. Onic themselves banned out the Fredrin. Smart call considering that they prioritize the Joy. The Kelra's gonna be safe. I think we're really gonna have to look at the Juicin Farsa trade, it seems like, for the two mid laners, and what roamer it will be paired with. We might see some callback to some favorites here, but considering there's an Harith on the other side, maybe Cho might not be the best bet for Brusco.
The draft's happening too fast. The chip's still out there too, in case they might want to consider it, but for now they're going for the Granger. And yes, I did mention the mid laners. I feel like that is something we have to watch and pay attention to later, but it seems like it's gonna be the flex for now. They're saving the mid lane matchup for the second phase.
I think the last time that Carl TZ used the Hayabusa this series, it was a 14-minute game. Could it be the same result? They also secured the backshot in the Harrod. So now, who will Tlph respect coming into the second banning phase?
I think it has to be Brusco. They still have to consider a Kufra ban, I believe. But the lineup of Onic shows that Sanji might end up with Selena again.
Yeah, there's also a Jushin that's still out there. Like, there are endless options still for the mid lane role, that it might be wise to actually go for those heroes that can just limit whatever Team Liquid Philippines can do, because they've been through that. The Hayabusa and the Harrod definitely won't be having a good time if ever there's a Badang and a Kufra again in Onic Philippines lineup.
Tough thing about the draft right now for Liquid is if they want to pick up the Farsa, Onic could very easily pick up a Gata Kacha in the roam for Brusco and or Kirk. Badang and the Gata Kacha both flex for both of them. So how is Liquid deciding to play and to pick 4? I'm sure they're really thinking about the Gata Kacha and or the Kufra. They might take away one more mid laner so that the best possible mid laner remains for them, as Valentina is still on the board. You have to remember that. Take away the Faramis.
What are the chances that Super Prince decides to use the Selena, suggests coach why not go all out?
Yeah, actually very possible for both. Possible for as a red 4 pick for Sanji, blue 4-5 for Onic. Wait a minute. Angela. For Liquid. But it's not going to be on a Baksha jungle if ever. It's going to be on a Baksha roam. I don't think we're going to see an Angela here. CC, Glue, trade in the EXP still active. There's Glue.
Glue 4th pick for Sandra there. It's now Onic Philippines. What's it going to be for Super Prince?
Yeah. Super Prince still has a couple of options.
For Kirk, you guys mentioned the Gatot Kacha. It could be a flex for both again. Badang and...
They could bring back either a Valir or a Veil for him. Valentina, not a lot of options. Farsa would still be okay, but let's see. He gets a Selena. And Brusco will still go for the Cho. They're going for pick-off. They're going for the crowd control. He ended up with it as Sanji did not pick it up.
What is with these mid lane gods that when their backs against the wall, they want to use a harder mid laner to pull off?
It's a good point.
And then we see the Zask.
Guys, we're about to lose. This game is so difficult.
Go Selena.
Let's go Selena.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. They're keeping the... Nah, it's not them who used the Kimmy earlier, but they're the ones using it this time.
Whew.
Kimmy. Okay.
I'm honestly looking at 2 picks here. The Selena for Onic, the Glue for Liquid.
I'm thinking about how the Kimmy is gonna fare in this game. It has to worry about the Joy. It has to worry about the Badang, the Cho even. It might be forced to bring out a Purify when it comes to it.
I mean, that's why they gave her a jetpack that she can fly with now. That is safer, and she deals damage along with it.
So there you go.
Match
Seeing
point.
even Oheb with the Purify.
Yeah, 2 Purifies here for Tlph. Match point for them. Is it gonna be Team Liquid Philippines crawling back to the lower bracket to regain their crown? Let's see as we enter Game 6 of the Grand Finals. Casters, take it away.
And once again, we jump into the land of Dawn. It's match point right now for Team Liquid Philippines. Will we see a Game 7?
The golden rivalry, the pride of Lakas ng Pinas. The world is watching. This could be it.
Match point, 1 win away. It's the Cavalry. Look at the emblems. Double boots for Kurt. Brusco.
Brusco forced to flicker out. Sanji, relentless. Do they want to do this? Friends forced to dash in to protect his roamer.
That's too close for comfort, man.
Yeah, way too close. Oh, Kara getting pressured. No shadow kill just yet for Carl TZ. He's still level 3. Brusco and Super Friends willingly took that trade. 2 flickers burned though by Onic, 1 on the Cho, 1 on the Granger.
Liquid are firing off on all cylinders. Barely a minute in.
That just, I mean, dealing with Kimmy like this just feels bad. Oh,
JP forced to use the Revitalize. Just 1 HP and a dream. Does not survive. King Kong comes in, draws first blood.
You gotta do something, and they catch JP. Oh!
Carl Daisy finds a better target though, scoring 1 on Kelra.
They get the God in the gold lane down quickly. JP fell in mid, but Liquid got the more favorable trade.
And it went, both junglers have a kill here, so, you know, but ultimately that's what happened. It all started with burning those flickers you mentioned earlier on, Renmar. So, again, this is the downside of dealing with a Kimmy. The poke is great there, especially paired up with this Baksha. And again, it's going to be that tanky kind of front line that Onic Philippines has to deal with when they approach these objectives. First turtle of the game is now up. This is going to be a little bit difficult. Brusco not level 4 though.
Sanford's going to hit level 4 first. He will have grab.
Carl Daisy catches that arrow with his face. Sanford now threatening a grab, spacing out Kirk, spacing out Prince. In comes King Kong. JP misses. Retribution not needed because Kirk will secure JP. And Sanford very low. A trap slowing down Sanji. Down goes Dad. Sanford caught between a rock and a hard place. Finds the grab on the Brusco. Oh, he's circling around the super fam. They are not going to do good things to him.
Yeah, just Sanford's got nowhere to go.
40! He's trapped.
He's trapped.
He's
Nowhere
else. He's just buying time.
That's it. I mean, for that kill, not for the game. I'm not saying like that's it for the game. But
it's the equivalent of having good cardio in an MMA match.
Exactly. Kirk saving Onic. You know, I've never been a fan of the Kirkitect name, but I have always admired the Kirkitect game, and he came in just in time with that flicker. Fist bump, fist crack, fist break, all the fists right in the key targets, and Carl Teasy was able to get his retribution off in time, but it was difficult considering that he had to shadow out away from the pressure that Brusco was dealing onto him. And when Carl Teasy got in, it was just a second too late. It was Kirk who miraculously got the last hit.
Yep, so a little bit of a lead here for Onic Philippines right now. Nothing too major though just yet, so Tlph will go ahead and continue to farm up the way they need. And now that you have Brusco on the level 4, now that he has the Way of the Dragon ultimate available, you could go for some pick-off potential. Now, paired up with the Abyssal Arrows, those are also something that can work around Onic Philippines' game plan. It's go for picks, see if you can isolate someone down, and then scale up. And that's already happening for King Kong, having those 2 early kills on this Joy. And like we mentioned, there's Brusco.
JP thought he caught Brusco, but instead he caught an arrow and a trap, slowing down and breaking Onyx formation.
Slowing down, a key phrase here. With the Abyssal Arrows getting tossed out by Super Friends, stopping what JP wants to do on the map, to get in the good position, to get in a surprise flank angle. Carl Teasy steals away. A Rock Golem away from King Kong.
A game of inches. Carl Teasy is slowly but surely creeping up, getting more value than King Kong, and those things add up.
Turtles up here once again. Second one. Sanford will go ahead and just try to keep Kirk at bay this time. He'll spot out King Kong as well.
40
damage.
Gets a grab on the Kirk. Gets him closer a little bit to Liquid. JP going hunting. Jumps 1. Got 1 more in the tank. Gonna let that one go. Slow take here. Goes, bumps right into Kelra. Dodges an arrow.
Oh, JP could be in trouble. Pops to Revitalize, but it's too much damage.
Salmon Force dropped in by OM, but Onic do not want to take this fight. Another arrow thrown out by Super Friends. The coast is clear. Men all around. Just waiting. Which one's going to pull the trigger first to take the turtle?
Yeah, okay. JP got caught out there, but wait. Ooh, Sanji. Sidestepping. You mentioned a game of inches there earlier. That arrow almost landed. Let's see if TL... No, it doesn't look like Carl Teasy will be able to get here in time. Another free turtle for Liquid as Carl and OF go up top.
They might just try to trade up top. Kelra burning the flicker. So, again, that's something down, but objective going to the hands here. Second turtle to Onic Philippines. King Kong will secure that. The fight, though, for the purple buff.
King Kong kept his retribution. The confidence in the face of Sanford. Committing grant that purple. Carl Teasy. He's starving here. And this fight's about to break out. Sanford looking for the grab the kick by Brusco. Down goes Frizz. Carl Teasy gets a kill. And they're not done. Sanji firing away. JP pops the Puissance. Bruce going about half health. Kirk goes for the crack.
Here's Kelra taking a shot off, but they disengage even with Kirk, finding a few and then burning the flicker. So they'll go ahead and just reset after that.
It's a small consolation as Sanford was able to get the right grab to ensure that Super Prince would get taken down. But the Hayabusa of Tlph does not have his purple buff as King Kong, as mentioned, saved the retribution. They invaded, and now Liquid have to find a way to recover. Thing is, the only way to recovery might be through brute force.
It seems that way, and playing around this kind of pick-off potential, Tlph. We'll see what they can get, but also you look at across the lanes there, it's relatively even. You know, they've been doing their... Whoop, hold on, JP too. He's going to be fine tanky enough, but they've been doing their due diligence to go ahead and maintain as much as they can. And you notice in a lot of these fights and the objectives where Kelra will go ahead and swing down quicker to join them because, you know, that Granger is going to be really important to them earlier on to have that physical damage because of this kind of lineup. Because even if you get the Bedang combo off, you got to be able to have that follow-through damage. And sometime, mid lane.
Super Prince got 40 on him. Is this going to be enough? Oh! Kept in place by Kirk. And now underneath here too. Up top, Kelra gets bumped by Ohem and JP. The Salmon Force still active. Brusco might regret this. Arrow thrown out. No one home. Another crack by Kirk. Down goes Brusco. Ohem is bloodthirsty. Kiel 1 gets a triple. Kirk looking to punish. Ohem gets some shields. Synchro Fisher through. Dashing out. Picking this fight. Salmon Force still on cooldown inside the base. It just came off of cooldown. Gave over a kill to Kirk, the shutdown.
The value for Oheb and the triple there.
Massive, massive play for Oheb. Lord still goes to King Kong.
Carl TC hesitated. Who was that?
What? A hesitation on the retry.
I don't think he saw King from the off angle, and literally King just dashed in retried, and now Carl TC has all of the regrets.
That's Grand Theft Turtle right there, man.
Highway robbery.
That's just...
Joseph, somebody better call the cops.
Somebody get somebody. Because right now they're going to get a turret off of that too. Objectives are still building up for Onic and Brusco, checking things out. So even with whatever Oheb was able to pull off there, ultimately they still have a lot of ground to cover from not letting this game and this lead slip out of their hands.
A major story thread that underlines our playoffs is redemption. King Kong.
Underneath here too. Down bottom. Of course, not enough to keep Oheb and JP alive. Onic just ran through them.
Oh, you can see the confidence building here for Onic Philippines. They want that game 7. It was a flicker?
Yeah, Prince flickered. He thought he could get a quick Abyssal Arrow off to stun Carl TZ. Liquid still holding on to the third and mid.
Sanford holding out, pushing back the rest of Onic. Gets the grab onto Kirk. But now Kelra dashes forward, almost takes out 40.
Onic getting closer and closer to forcing game number 7 to leave it to a best of 1 to defend their throne, but this game is not over yet. 3,500, Oheb's at level 10, Kelra's at level 12. Oheb doesn't have the Holy Crystal just yet. It's going to take quite some time, while Kelra already up to a Malefic Roar and I believe a Wind of Nature or Sea Halberd. Damage for Onic, much better.
JP finds the angle, forces the Puissance from JP. That was the point of no return. Carl TZ, shadow. Sanji gets bopped by King Kong. Kelra looking to fire back. Hits Sanford. The Salmon Force from Oheb ineffective.
That's a whole lot for Onic again as they continue to stack on the lead. Carl TZ still up, but Kirk and Brusco will keep him at bay as long as they can. Shadow Kill going to be used, so Kirk is gone.
But Kelra looking at the Baby Cakes duo. Kelra be hungry. Forcing his Salmon Force, dashing through that wall. That was close. Kelra is a man possessed. He just wants to keep going.
I am both equally mesmerized and terrified by the god that Kelra has become in the gold lane. 5-2-0, but it's not just all Kelra. We have to credit King Kong and his efforts. Brusco, Friends, Kirk, everyone on the side of the Super Fam has showed up when their throne is at most threatened. They hold on, and they are playing one of the best games they've played all series long. The entries on point, the man marking, the pickoffs, everything. But can they finish it here? Or will Liquid somehow defend?
This is like one of those moments that we saw from TLPH when they had this
Brusco.
kind of lead. There's Brusco!
Jumping in with the flicker, gets that kick on the 40. Salmon Force dropped in by Owen, not gonna be enough. He goes down, Kelra gets a double. Shadow kill by Tlph, fails to find anyone. Onic, scatheless.
Oh, they could still go ahead, punch on in, and arrow's gonna land, but ultimately, they just want these turrets. We'll see that they still hold on to all base turrets right now. Some of the shields are popped. Super Prince will disengage. Kaura's here. We'll see if they can still cap this one out. An arrow's gonna land, but ultimately the shields keep things together. King Kong will go ahead and back off, so TLPH is okay. They are facing a huge deficit, 8,000 gold, but they stay in the game.
Everything about the lineup of Onic screams instant gratification at this point. Press ultimate once or twice, burst. Too much for Team Liquid to handle. While the damage output of Team Liquid at this point, again, they're playing around the Kimmy in the mid lane. Yes, the Harith, still on the way to Holy Crystal, not quite there yet in the damage, will deal a lot of damage. It's like there's a process to it. It's more complicated to play the game that Team Liquid wants to play. Well, Onic can just toss out an Abyssal Arrow, tell King Kong go in, pop your ultimate, tell Kelra, who is so far away from the action, to just toss out a Death Sonata. It's so much easier right now for Onic, and they have an almost 10,000 gold lead. This is going to be a massive crawl for Liquid and an easy end for Onic, if ever.
Oh, the damage under the turret, they're going to break down.
Salmon Force dropped in already by Oheb. King Kong dies on a Sanji. Oheb does take out Brusco, but is that going to be enough? Shadow kill! Carl TZ takes down King Kong. Liquid's first win in quite a while, and it comes at the cost of their top lane inhibitor.
18 seconds before the Lord spawns, 27 until King Kong gets back. The minion waves do not look good for Liquid. As Super Friends Kelra and Kurt can hold on here. Liquid cannot blitz anything at this point. They have to play for the dance.
But a chance is a chance. It looks like Liquid is willing to take it. There's not enough of a front line nor a back line damage source to threaten Oheb, to threaten Liquid.
Oh, they know King Kong's not back up just yet, so they might go for the blitz here. JP up on the front side, gonna try to keep Kirk at bay.
Prince still throwing out these arrows. Carl TZ got hit by one. JP goes. The retribution, the shadow kill. Carl TZ secures. Gets taken out by Kelra. Liquid PH getting on out of here. The coast is clear, but Liquid might not be able to back out. Brusco takes out Oheb. Lord spawns.
Oh, Sanji's still up, but Sanford's gonna have to sacrifice himself. They might have the Lord, but they're wiped out.
Ladies and gentlemen, all over the world, it is my pleasure to say we're going all the way.
Game number 7 for immortality. It falls down to one last one between the gods of the game and Team Liquid.
We wouldn't have it any other way. We're gonna have to throw it over to the panel, Brigida and Ingan, to break down this Game 6.
The race for the first one to raise the Immortal Cup. Down to one game. Oh my goodness. Again, the Selena from Super Friends. Everything just piling up for the Sonics. What's it gonna be? 4 rings, 4 championships for Carl and JP. Or the third team to go back to back for the Super Fam. And we have our MVP of that game, no other than the Bruiser himself, Brusco.
How many times have we seen the flicker Jeet Kune Dos, the flicker way of the dragons from Brusco, which just throw off Team Liquid Philippines and all of their plans, which just suddenly force them to back away and worry about all the follow-up Abyssal Arrows that can also come in, the follow-up damage from King Kong that can also come in. Brusco has said so much of how this game has turned out from the very beginning. he reminded us of how he was able, or how he's just able to play the Joe.
That was not just a reminder, more than a reminder, it was a statement for not just TOPH, but for all of the people watching that the Bruiser has got it. Whatever you want, the Badang, the Cho, even the Angela, he can pull it off. And the Super Fam again.
Yeah.
You know, this is the second consecutive time, Brigida, that the Grand Finals of MPL Philippines finally reached a Game 7.
This guy, he's done so much. We did mention all of the setups. We did mention all of the interruptions that he's been able to offer. But beyond that, I feel this lead wouldn't have ballooned to this point if it weren't for his consistent denial of Carl TZ and a peaceful jungling in the early stages of the game. He limited Carl TZ so much, who, by the way, seems to be up there. He seems to be ahead in terms of how quick he's just able to get all that XP, level up, and actually contest the turbo jungling patterns we know of King Kong even. But Brusco did so much in terms of stopping him in doing that.
Yeah.
And that just denied Team Liquid Philippines of playing aggressively as much as they wanted to. They had the Baksha, they had the Hayabusa, they had the Glue. These heroes, they could just all go in at the same time. But how could you go in? How could you be confident to go in if you know that you are so much behind?
Yeah, and how can you go in? Because at any given moment, Kirk with the Badang can turn things around with one fist break, fist crack combo that he clearly utilized their advantage. Second 14-minute game done in a flash, a 28-kill scoreboard. An amazing win for Onic Philippines. And you know, I'm speechless. These guys came prepared, did not disappoint. Whatever happens, whoever wins will deserve the first ever Immortal Cup in S15 of MPL Philippines. And what can you say about that?
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard-fought battle between these two teams for the last game we'll be seeing. But this sums it up. Only 4 purple buffs have went into the hands of Carl TZ for the entire 14 minutes we've seen in that game, and 5-8 also is the score for the orange buffs that they were able to secure throughout. So just brings us back to, yes, we didn't see King Kong perform this well on the Joy earlier, but this is him redeeming himself. This is him bringing it back, whereas this is Carl TZ being completely shut down from that beautiful Hayabusa game we also saw from him earlier. And I feel it's not just Carl. You, as Carl, would like follow through whatever JP and Sanford are able to do, but whenever they actually try to do something, it felt less in sync. It felt like Onic Philippines were just able to deal the necessary damage towards JP, constantly shutting him down, and Sanford was left to attack everything all alone, so that wasn't like the best scenario if you were Team Liquid Philippines.
Yeah, one of the things I think, or sequences that showed that they weren't as in sync was the OWeb outplay down at the top lane, where he was able to outplay and bought enough time for TOPH, but the problem was King Kong just slithered in and was able to retreat the 3rd turtle away from TOPH.
That was such a massive play done there by King Kong too, by the way. And if you see the BPI Rich guy in front of your screens in this 14-minute game, it's going to be Kellra with a 991 GPM. We don't get to see these numbers.
Yeah.
I feel like yesterday we did see 1,000, but that was the only one we saw throughout the entire playoffs, and now this is close to 1,000 in the hands of Kellra. So you know that he's just had such a great time in playing this Granger. He's just standing in front of everyone and throwing out the Rhapsodies.
Yeah, and you should also stand in front of everyone, Brigida, because it's your time to shine. Take it away.
So we are indeed going all the way. So we have another game to break down for you as we head into this segment. Now we start off with the gold difference timeline. So this was the point in the game where it was, I say, slightly in favor of Team Liquid Philippines. That was around the 1st minute mark, and that was the only time I'd be able to say that, because this was the moment wherein they traded Kellra for JP, and that was the most favorable exchange we've seen in that game because everything went downhill for Team Liquid Philippines from that point onwards. Again, we did mention that the pressure coming in from Brusco was just too much. They were consistent in terms of denying Carl Tizzy of his farming, of the way he's just able to secure his buffs freely. It almost always happens that whenever they go for the turtle, which, mind you, all went into the hands of Onic, they're just able to quickly transition towards the purple buff as well, and that greatly denies Carl Tizzy of whatever he wants to do. And this has been a consistent trend, allowing the gold lead to grow up to 8K when we approach the 11-minute mark. And the 11-minute mark I'm talking about right now is just 3 minutes before we actually wrapped up the entire game. So you just see that this was a clean game pulled off by Onic Philippines. You may consider it to be another glitch because this is the second game we saw in less than 15 minutes, but these are just games that are cleanly executed by our teams, and that barely allowed for any room from Team Liquid Philippines to actually fight back. It was just 2 turrets that they were able to get away from Onic Philippines, and you couldn't do as much. You could barely operate when almost the entire map is covered, when your buffs are constantly being denied from you. And this is a Hayabusa. You definitely want to get your hands on those buffs. You definitely want the space so the Baksha could just hunt down the opponent, so he could just look for the targets, and so that Sanford as well on the glue could just provide the continuous zoning. But this wasn't the case. Clearly not. It was a struggle as well for Sanji to do things in this game on the Kimi. It was a Kimi game wherein he had to worry about the Selena, the Joy, and that we mentioned too before heading into this game, and it was just tough. It was rough for Sanji overall. Now, if we were to look at the item progressions for our players here in this game, all throughout, you could definitely observe how quick it was for the other members to just rack up on the necessary items. Carl Tizzy, he took some time before he was able to get his core items, and that was probably what limited them so much. Another key item pickup here from Brusco definitely was the early Radiant armor that they were able to secure, because majority of the damage that will come in from the side of Team Liquid Philippines, granted that they were already able to deny Carl Tizzy much of his farming, was gonna come in from Sanji. But Sanji prioritizing the concentrated energy, well respected too, that there is just too much damage that has to be sustained. There's just, he needs just more and more avenues to keep himself in the game, to keep himself alive. And this was clearly a struggle. This wasn't the best scenario for Team Liquid Philippines in terms of the way that they drafted. And how many times does a Selena just shake things up like that? When we saw Sanji on the Selena, it was great for Team Liquid. Now that we see them against the Selena and in Super Friends' hands, it was too good for Onic Philippines.
It's becoming an X-Factor pick for our top mid laners so far, not just in the grand finals, but even in the whole playoffs. We even saw Few rock with the Selena, and it was perfect for them. And now, Brigida, best of 7. We are in game number 7. So who's gonna win it? It's gonna be Onic Philippines versus Team Liquid Philippines. And at this point, whatever happens, happens. I for sure had an amazing day. Did you have an amazing day?
The day's not over, but I already had an amazing day. These amazing matches, these split pushes, these team fights.
There was a split push earlier on.
These chaotic ways of ending the game. I mean, I have all my attention for Games Heaven.
And let's put our attention to the MPL Playgrounds once again.
Let's take a quick break from our grand finals match. I'm gonna take you to a tour dahil ito rin naman ang pupuntahan ng ating mga players after ng ating championship. So, you can see here the Road to Esports World Cup wall. Makikita natin ang trophy, of course. Ang ating representatives of the Philippines, we have here sa MWI Navi PH and Team Liquid. They are the representatives from the recently concluded Athena League. League. And on the other side is MSC. Ang representatives natin ay ang Onic Philippines and Team Liquid Philippines na ngayon ay naghaharap sa ating Grand Finals ng MPL Philippines Season 15. Isang tanong, isang sagot. Sino ang champion for MPL Philippines S15?
TLPH po.
Who's your MPL PH Season 15 champion?
Of course, the LPH. Yes.
Your MPL PH Season 15 champion?
TLPH.
Onic. Your grand champion for the season?
Onic.
And back to where we started, this is MPL Playgrounds na nakasama namin kayo sa loob ng 5 araw dito sa MPL Playoffs. I hope na-enjoy nyo lahat ng inanda naming activities para sa inyo. Mula sa meet and greet kasama inyong paboritong players and teams, papunta sa team showcase na hinanda ng ating mga super fans sa mga palaro at mga prizes, and even nakapag-uwi sana kayo ng mga paborito nyong merch from your favorite team sa ating merch booth and sa ating mga freebies galing sa ating mga sponsors like Infinix, Smart, BPI, TT Racing, Clear, Nor, and Time Zone. So I hope nag-enjoy rin kayo at maraming natutunan sa ating watch party hangout with Ben Things as well as ang ating GG Truck watch party. We can't wait na maghanda pa ng marami para sa inyo dito lamang sa MPL Playground. This is your very own Odin. Balik muna sa inyo, Champions Arena.
Thank you so much, Odin, for giving us another preview of what's happening with the playgrounds so far. A lot of people from the playgrounds are actually voting for TLPH. There are actually liquid girlies out there.
Yeah, and even a lot of the guests we had here in the Champions Arena, they did predict for Team Liquid Philippines, but this is Onic Philippines putting up a really good fight. They are looking to defend their championship.
Yeah.
And prove that they're just really up there, you know? Like everyone, the entire world, they just have their eyes on Onic Philippines.
Yeah, they're the team to beat for a very long while now, ever since the start of latter half of 2024. And now they're on the verge of becoming the third team to be back-to-back champs. You know, Kelra's journey has been amazing. Started out, we could safely say a bit of immature, but now you can see his maturity pop up, and at the same time, his excellence also show out from being an uncrowned king to finally becoming a champion last season and can become a back-to-back champ. But on the other hand, Carl TZ, JP securing their 4th title.
Yeah.
Man, are they the lead? I think S1's the lead right now, but if they secure it, I think they're all tied.
We'll find the numbers, especially once the series is over, but imagine that. We're on our 3rd best of 7 so far in the entire history of MPL Philippines. That includes Season 7, Season 14,
and today,
Season 15. That's this season. So it's only been the 3rd time wherein we see a full Game 7. And what's funny is that in all of those games, Game 7s, Kelra has to be part of it.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Every single time. Again, the first one was Blacklist versus Execration, and of course Aurora versus Onic, and now TOPH versus Onic, and 2 out of the 3 times also, I believe, OHEB was there. So battle-tested warriors are gunning it out today. Again, the heated rivalry between the 2 gold laners, OHEB and Kelra, still in action right now, will be settled, and I believe we will have a little bit of reinforcements because the We Bear Bros, they're gonna be with us right now.
Oh, we're calling everyone.
Everyone.
So that's the watch party that's happening all across the Philippines. By the way, Ingan, I hope everyone was able to catch wherever these watch parties are happening right now, because like we have one in Luzon, we have one in Visayas, we have one in Mindanao. We're bringing the MPL experience closer and closer to everyone.
Everyone's having the time of their lives because again, Game 7, and you can clearly see everyone enjoying. Because who doesn't want a non-stop action here in MLBB? And of course, we also know that a lot are actually restreaming.
Yes.
I actually saw a video yesterday about streamers and even casters internationally reacting to the amazing play that Sanji did. Everyone was screaming at the top of their lungs. So, you know, they're far from the Philippines, but they're enjoying the fight, enjoying the action here in the Champions Arena. Because again, best of 7.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? I mean,
Yeah.
I expected it. I mean, it's Onic and Tlph.
I feel like everyone in the MPL Playgrounds right now, having the watch party with Ben Things, are suddenly getting a boost in terms of how they're gonna play in their ranked games. I feel like doing a watch party with Ben Things is very informative and very fun at the same time, and it looks so cute, right? If you imagine it, you have a question, then you can approach Ben Things, and then he'll just answer you because he's right there.
And then he'll say his tagline. do you know his tagline?
What's his
It goes
tagline?
like this. Sana makatulong. In English, that means hopefully it helps.
Yeah.
Coach Ben Things, third content creator. One of the best content creators, by the way. And one of the main reasons why it's so hard to play RG in the Philippines.
Oh my goodness.
Shout out to you, Ben Things, Fuego, Elgin, and even our co-casters here, Renmar, Umi, everyone.
Do you see that?
What's happening at the back?
I see Kimmy.
There are Valentinas out there, the IMUs, the cosplayers.
Oh.
Kimmy, what's the big one? But this big one...
I was wondering, what do you mean, Valentina?
This big one is a really big one because, again, make some noise, MPOPH, because it's gonna be the final game of the season. It all comes down to this. Will it be a back-to-back for the defending champions, or will it be TOPH crawling from the lower bracket to regain their top spot? We're gonna call out the best and most handsome analyst in the entire universe, Renmar.
Wolf? Oh.
No.
Hey, what up, guys?
That was a not that long intro, but it was a surprising
factual.
one.
It was a factual one. So Redmar, are you still there?
Yeah, no, I'm still here. I'm just blushing over all the gushing that you're doing. Low Yi right away for Sanji.
Ho, ho, ho.
I wouldn't be surprised if Super Prince ends up with the Selena later on.
Oh my goodness, that's such a high possibility right now, considering that they just came from a Selena
What early on? What later on? They want to pick it now. Selena for Super Prince in the mid lane and Harith.
Look at his face. Look at how they were just shaking hands right after they picked that Selena.
You know, at this point, I feel like all the players are involved in this draft. Everyone's saying, I want to use this hero, and I'm going to dominate with this hero.
Yeah, I'm a bit iffy about, like, the backshy is there. But considering that there's a Selena again, there'll just be so many ways to stop him in his tracks.
Busa right out of the gate.
Okay.
And the chip for JP. Team Liquid Philippines are pulling out all the stops. When they won the championship in MPL Philippines Season 13, it was the height of Chip. And in this Game 7 for Immortality, they bring out the Chip yet again. This time paired up with a Low Yi. Ling for King Kong. Assassin versus Assassin. The best picks on the board, but what will OHEB end up with? As Onic will most likely take the Granger out.
Granger out.
Does that mean the Filipino sniper will end up with the Beatrix?
Oh! Callbacks after callbacks. Nice you kept mentioning Throwback Thursday. Everything's throwing it back right now.
Okay.
Oh. Onic, who are they going to respect this time still? No XP laners and gold laners. Will it be the Granger, the Moskov bans for South Earth, or the Beatrix on the Filipino sniper?
Yeah, it can be. For Team Liquid Philippines, though, the XP laners might be huge X factors as well in terms of their bans for the next few, or in terms of their last 2 bans. They take out the Joe instead, however, but fortunately for them, at least, they don't need to worry about the AoE mages. The Selena's already revealed to us by Onic Philippines, so it's mostly just really on the XP laners and the roamers that they'll have to worry about in terms of landing those diversions and shortcuts.
You guys mentioned that Glue for sure will be present almost 100% in this game, but we see it now.
Granger's Phobius is out, excuse me, I'm very excited about that Granger. The Badang could be a very good option for Onic and needs to be respected by Liquid. But one of the best, too much magic damage already, they need a little bit more if they want concurrent ones. Edith is still actually in play for Onic. We haven't seen it all series for long, and it's been a rare pick this entire playoffs, but it could show up. With the Joe out, mobility, Matilda gone as well. Baksh is gone. Khalid might be in play for Onic. Khalid Batang.
Khalid Badang, Charizla. There's a Gatot too. they want to consider the AOG.
Yeah.
Just jumping in whenever Team Liquid Philippines actually tries to go for a setup.
Hilda.
Oh, but they pick up the Hilda. They might want to replicate how they denied Carl Tizzy so much in the previous game.
Just all I ask for is we get a Beatrix on OHEB.
If we're not seeing the Lancelot on Carl Tizzy this series, then at least the
give us that.
Beatrix for OHEB.
Beatrix to Rizla.
Yeah. Yeah, to Rizla.
You need something tanky. Beatrix glue, I think, maybe. But that could be another glue game for Sanford. How's he gonna feel about that? And it's so mobile. Maybe throw it back at Benedetta even? Nah, still the Granger.
Still the Granger glue. Okay.
Sticking to what has worked in the meta for Liquid. Playing around Sanji's low Yi.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Sanford has not played MLBB this series. He's played glue.
I don't know how it feels to play all glue. I mean, Hans probably knows. But like, it's not that much of the action XP laners we've been seeing from Sanford. Now it's the Gatot Kacha indeed that they pick up to wrap up this draft. Woo! Oh my goodness.
Before we analyze, I just want to say, Brigida, Ingan, thank you for an amazing season. You have done amazing this Grand Finals panel. I am so proud of you two. Let's witness history together.
I'm so proud of you two, We Bear Bros, our mentors. Guys, the drafts are set for Game 7. In the 7 long years, we have witnessed legends, titans come out on top. But this game will determine who will be immortalized and raise the Immortal Cup. It's a battle between S13, S14 champions. Battle between M4, M6 champions. Battle between the Golden Goat and the Young Goat. This is the Grand Finals. Game 7 underway.
To Mobile Legends.
You got it all riding on, and once again, it's us, the We Bear Bros, to bring you Game 7, the last one of S15. Who will raise that Immortal Cup?
Pop quiz, this is our first collective best of 7 that we share as a desk. Quick action in mid, Super Prince already at half health, Sanji as well. Quick peek at the emblems.
Okay, nothing too crazy, except for Super Princess Abyssal Arrows constantly landing in the center of the map. Time itself holds its breath for this moment in history. For those who achieve immortality, dare not be afraid of the passing of the ages. Can the timeless legacy of Carl Tizzy be immortalized by being the first to win the Immortal Cup and winning his 4th MPL trophy? Or will Onic continue the destiny they've been writing as the gods of the game since December?
This is the first time we've seen Gatot in quite a while.
Yeah, he's been kind of missing, you know, for this series anyway. And it could end up being quite the pick, especially depending on Super Friends. Like, you guys saw his smile in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, this was clearly, a choice between him and, of course, the coaching staff behind him to go ahead and lock this in with confidence. We know that... Oh, Brusco charging on in.
An arrow to go with it. JP backing out, flickering through. Tempest Ablaze by King Kong. Another false engage. An arrow by Super Prince. Like Kung Fu Masters. These two just keep going.
Clutch flick, clutch battle spell, and Super Prince showing why he's been deemed the monster mage on this Selena, keeping Team Liquid Philippines at bay. They are uncomfortable with their rotations in the center of the map because of all the Abyssal Arrows.
It's really frightening if you've been against a Selena in your own, matches. The amount of reach, technically, that she has to cause an effect here. Here's a diversion, though. Top side.
Double laning that the Liquid have done. Brusco here, very low. Got that grab on him. Sanji just wailing away. Kurt goes down. Caldi's draws first blood. OHEB takes down Brusco. Look at King Kong coming through. Taking down Caldizi. Tempest of Blades out. 2 for 1 the exchange. Super Prince still dashing around. The shortcut still active. OHEB says, does not get to get out of there. Gets hit by Super Prince's arrow.
Okay, he backs off. OHEB was in trouble. But ultimately, it leads down to some extra gold in the hands of Kelra, and this turtle still up.
Super Prince delaying that means Kelra had all the time in the world to farm up even more. Oheb has a kill, but that Harith is scaling, and they have to watch out for it. So Team Liquid Philippines, let's see how they're going to play the next sequence, knowing that the Abyssal Arrow is something they really need to deal with.
Here we go, turtles up. It's for the taking. TL's in position, but there's no
Retribution range. King Kong secures. Not a response from Liquid. What are they planning?
Liquid decide to give it up. They didn't want to take the risk. Kelra in lane, winning against Oheb so far.
This has been, sometimes I wish we had another camera where we could just watch the gold lane. Because these two when they're playing, they're always going at it. They're always trading, and there's always a moment where, you know, one of them goes down or not. But ultimately, they've tested the limits between each other in that gold lane, and that's what we love to see.
Difficult thing also playing up against a Gatot Kacha as a chip lineup is that the taunt of the Gatot works similarly to how we saw the Kufra gave headaches to JP earlier. The Tyrant's Rage, Revenge, the bouncing balls even. So, as always now, JP really needs to be on point. King Kong in the mid, sees Sanji. Items no clear advantages just yet, still very close in the gold.
Okay, bringing it down to it again. Kind of a little bit of a breather here after everything we've seen. And we got to remember throughout the series how it's been relatively longer games. Aside, you know, each team getting their own kind of dominating game throughout this. And both these lineups can actually provide the potential to scale up really quickly, get momentum. But the thing is, as good as Onic Philippines has been doing, kind of managing this early portion of the game, the amount of utility throughout the entire game, the mid and late especially, that the lineup that Tlph has, could actually be troublesome for Onic Philippines. So I want to see how they're going to go ahead and play against that. I mean, we're talking about a Chip and a Louis Yi.
But at 5 minutes, Joseph, you got to wonder, maybe too much is too much, right? What do you do with the fact that you can fold the map and then do it again? Really, there's not much output from Oheb yet or Tlph. They do spot Kirk, force him out of that brush, and then they just do it again. They jockey for position, turtle spawning in about 5.
Center of the map, Sanji blown up. Super Prince took a lot of damage as well though. Gold lane left relatively undisturbed. If Liquid lose this big time, it will be massive considering they're up against a Harith. So this might be the play. Send Chip with the Granger. So if Liquid lose this, they can instantly shortcut down to the bottom lane.
You can see what's happening here. Yeah, you're playing around the Chip right now. They're going to put pressure here on the bottom side. Kelra knows it. But Conceal's going to be used from JP. Are they going to go?
Flickers in with the shortcut. The Summon Force drop. Kelra goes in, dashes through, gets taken out by Sanji. And they split out. The diversion to the exit. A feint. King Kong and Super Prince unbothered. Oheb pushes. The turtle here started up by Onic. JP can spot him. But how do they get back in?
Liquid looks very good for them. All Onic though, in full control still. Tlph cannot get close enough.
Could be 100% turtles here for Onic. That seems to be the case, as it's only Sanford looking for a grab. Dashing through and around the remaining members of the Super Fam. 40. Grabs one, the AOG, the answer by Brusco. Sanford, let's go. Kirk very low. Zaman forced by Kelra. Tempest ablaze at the back line. King Kong.
Arrow! The arrow's going to land on Oheb, and Oheb have to flicker out. The fight's still going to be able to break out, and Tlph looking for the damage here.
Mr. 2K finds the Filipino Savage. Oheb. Down goes Brusco. Kirk as well. Double kill for Kiel 1.
Oheb and Tlph coming up big time. The Monster Mage almost dashed the hopes of Liquid there. But Liquid held on. The man who they'll name awards after one day is hell-bent on adding immortality to his own.
Damn straight. There's already a world champion named after him.
Oh man, it's just in a matter of that exchange, you get a nice lead for Tlph. They can now build on this. Yes, they lost the turtles, the objectives at first, but that shows that their fighting prowess is playing around that utility, is playing around punishing Onic Philippines if they're not able to take care of who they need to. And right now, a lot of the times, that's Kelra. He's got to be able to stay alive and farm up on this Harith.
And slowly but surely, I think I see the mad genius behind Coach RC's draft, behind Liquid's plans here. They want to rope-a-dope, not just in team fights, but across the map.
Takes 10 damn hours to fly to Riyadh from the Philippines. If you can shorten travel time within the Land of Dawn in the best of 7 grand finals, you take that. They're already thinking about the flight. We want to rotate the map, we do it quicker.
They've been there too.
If only we had portals in real life, you know?
I wish.
And shortcuts that we could just drop down.
We'd still end up in the economy version though.
Hey, I'll take that over just actually traveling. But going back to the game right now, it's still nothing too devastating for Onic Philippines. It's a 2,000 gold deficit. The Lord is coming up. They have somewhat control. I mean, at least they got the one turret down on the top side.
Blitz.
But it's Tlph just blitzing the Lord here. It's holding at half health.
Oh, they're only opens if King Kong dashes in, looking for that angle. Carl with the retribution. Down goes Brusco. It's looking ugly for Onic. They know that that's the truth of the situation. They back off.
King Kong was blocked by JP. The overtime and the crash course by the chip stopped him from being in retribution range. Remember the fact hanging over Onic's heads. JP has never lost to Onic Philippines in the grand finals of MPLPH.
To add to that, Carl Tlph, Liquid as a whole is leading in Lord takes. Lord control through the roof. And now they're gonna steal away King Kong's purple.
They're taking everything here. Just in what I thought wasn't too bad of a situation for Onic Philippines based off everything that Lord and everything they're taking in the jungle. Onic Philippines is going to find themselves with their backs against the wall at this point, under the 10-minute mark already. And we've seen this earlier in the series. They're going to have to go ahead and buckle in and get ready to just buy time here. This Lord is making its way. They're going to have to deal with it. Yeah. King Kong took some of that damage. The shield's going to pop and clear out the Lord here, but they're going to lose some of the tier 2 turrets.
Carl actually forced the Tempest of Blades out. Oh, entry by Brusco!
Through an arrow, AOG clocked in. Down goes Brusco. A grab from Sanford. Goes off of cooldown in just a wee bit. Another holy defense pop.
Costly play by Team Liquid. This means that they have a chance of actually starting to break inhibitor turrets. The window is starting to close for the gods of the game as the cavalry is inching ever closer to climbing Olympus and reclaiming what was once theirs.
Tlph, 2 shields down of Onic Philippines' base, just eyes them out just outside of the walls. They've got not much else to take except maybe that shield up top, but they might just have to reset. Again, Tlph knowing they have to take the discipline route. As stampede as they can be, they still have to respect what Onic Philippines can do, but look at the disparity in the items here.
Okay, only up to a Thunderbelt Dreadnought armor for that Gauntlet Kacha. Not a lot of magic defense items for Onic, and that's a problem because the low Yi is one of the main damage sources that Team Liquid has. Same goes for the little bit of magic damage dealt by a chip. They have some Radiant armors to answer that, but King Kong, will he get his purple buff?
Got it.
Secured.
Threaded the needle. That was very difficult. The rest of Onic was just ready to collapse it if ever something went wrong.
That's 24 seconds gone for the retribution though. Team Liquid should know the time, but I think it will be back. Yes, by the time the objectives are up. Lord, okay, Berserker's Fury, Haskell's Endless Battle for the Ling, 3 core items also for Carl Tlph's Hayabusa. King Kong spotted out, but not in trouble.
Hate to say it, there's 2,000 gold between Oheb and Kelrites.
It was that play in the early game, man.
Yeah.
It put Kelra behind.
It's a mid-game snowball.
Yeah.
Oheb is so damn rich.
He's got so much money right now. Lord is up. Carl Tlph will go ahead and start this up. Onic Philippines, they might have to pull something out of the bag here to make this work. An arrow's going to land, but you don't follow it up just yet. Now under half health. They still calculate this out here.
40, protecting starboard. They jump in on it. Kirk bites it. Lord at about half health. An arrow misses its mark. Sanford clearing the fence brush, clearing the Y brush. And Onic call it quits. They don't want none of this.
Yeah, nothing they can do about that, even with Kirk down. Tlph, massive lead ahead. They'll get prepped and ready to march towards the base and possibly end it here against Onic Philippines.
The Granger low Yi burst, way too much. The wave clear for Onic, difficult to pull off. 7,000 in the gold. King Kong steals a buff away from Carl Tlph. No purple for the Hayabusa, but they have the Lords, they have the minions, and they have the lead. Will they have immortality at the end of this siege?
It's a big push for them. Full force for Onic Philippines. The arrow is going to be thrown out. There's a conceal, though, coming in for the base here.
JP setting it up. Look at the angle
Brusco.
by Brusco, charging up that taunt right in the middle. Smackdown on Liquid. Down goes Oheb. King Kong finds him. Tempest ablaze up into the skies. The diversion. The exit. Down goes Sanji. Liquid forced to back off. That was not how they saw it coming. King Kong gets shadow kill on him. Instead it's on Prince. He flickers out another AOG. They want to take out Brusco. Not enough firepower between the remaining members of Liquid.
They stay calm, they stay collected, and Onic Philippines will stay in the game.
Brusco had an MVP performance earlier, and he just pulled off an MVP save. He got Oheb in the taunt. We talked about the unbreakable. Perfect target by the Bruiser and a perfect follow-up by King Kong. Liquid, though, are still definitely in the lead and in the game, but Onic are beginning to see the light of hope beyond the clouds.
Half a second of that trunch, half a second of the diversion could have saved Sanji, could have saved Liquid from much more pain, but this does shrink their gold lead and cutting it in half.
Holy Crystal built already for Kelra. Roam boots blessings all around for both Onic and Liquid so that their lowest gold earner can catch up in the EXP and the gold. Right now, it's both roamers for both sides.
Onic Philippines bought themselves the time that they needed, but the question is, was it enough? Or do they still need more? The fight for the purple buff for now. And Tlph on this side of the jungle, they know they still have a lead. They gotta calculate this though too. Tlph will go ahead and get in there. King Kong wants the purple buff to set things up for the next objective, but he'll get it. King Kong's fine.
No dice. It's 40 versus the world. I think if Sanford just stepped in maybe an inch forth, maybe 2 or 3 units, that would have been a little more awkward. He could have caught the arrow instead, but I think Liquid just want to play the safe, play it clean.
We're at this point where Onic is within reach and Liquid now has to be so darn careful with everything they have to do now. Kirk can only do so much, but the little bit of control in the burst coming in from the Hilda might become a difference maker. Again, especially if they could get either the Low Yi or the Granger, get one or the other down, and Onic increases their chances of lifting up the Immortal Cup. Liquid, they have to play the best dance, best game they've played in a while if they want to end this before the 20-minute mark.
This is so tough. Again, a lot of this relying on Kirk. Kirk can't get caught out here and taken down or dragged out. Brusco popping the conceal again. Little unbreakable charge, but it's just Stanford that they spot out. They'll go for a reset for now. Not the ideal angle for either team just yet.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I think Liquid heard the conceal play and just dispersed and looked for another entry.
You have 2 ways to potentially end it if you're Liquid. Lord brute force or do it again. A portal. Can they?
I'm not sure if they can here. Again, look at this. Look at the placements for JP. Under half health.
And there you go, the retribution by Mr. 2K. Tempest Ablaze knocks up Sanford. Kelra takes him down. It's a man out for the cavalry. JP catches an arrow, but still, the surgical approach. Liquid gets a diversion in. The off angle. Onic, they anticipated this AOG just to make sure Brusco can close the gap.
They knew they couldn't risk it. JP will have his shortcut available to bring Sanford back faster into the game. Minion waves crashing in. Enhanced they are. 16 minutes in Liquid. This looks good for them to end. But can they avoid another Onic clapback?
Tlph almost forced to respond there. The Lord is inside the base.
He counters the choke, almost gone!
Tlph finds him, shadow kill. Kirk follows up, and that's just 3 members left for the Super Fam. King Kong doing his darndest to clear the waves. The Lord gets taken down. Cavalry, Super Fam, we're about to witness a new age in MLBB. Brusco goes down, Tempest Ablaze in disguise, but it's too late. The Cavalry reclaim the throne, stampeding through. Stallions, now immortals.
Team Liquid Philippines will get the job done in Game 7.
Changed the name, but the spark always remained. Their aura never waned. Their legacy will now echo as Team Liquid are immortals!
Your MPL Philippines Season 15 champions!
crawled through the lower bracket. They suffered a sweeping reverse sweep loss. They lost 0-3, yet here they are.
The gods of the game go by many names, but the greatest of all time simply goes by Tlph.
Again, sportsmanship all around. We just witnessed one of the best grand finals and playoffs overall that we've seen here in the MPL Philippines. Just absolute peak MLBB. Hats off to our players here.
GG, well played to the Super Fam. The Sonic Republic Worldwide mourns this loss. Again, Onic's very first tournament loss in quite a while. They've won all around the world, but here in the land of champions, in the Champions Arena, anything less than your best just doesn't cut it.
They are still flying out and will contest for MSC.
Again, thank you so much for joining us on the English desk. It's me, Naisu, Leo, and Renmar. We're checking out for today. We're going to throw it over to the hosts and the stage and for our winners.
Oh, you better believe it! Cavalry, did you like what you see? Gentlemen, you have done it. And as of this moment, I am sure Jamie, they went from the lower bracket to reach this point, and now they have claimed victory.
Wow, Hans, our victors indeed. Cavalry, can we hear it from you guys?
Gentlemen, I believe for the first time in MPL history, someone will now be racing the Immortal Cup. Carl Tizzy and the rest of Team Liquid Philippines, you may now approach the trophy that is rightfully yours.
Team Liquid Philippines, please step forward to claim what is rightfully yours. Get ready to lift the Immortal Cup in 3, 2, 1!
Your champions, Team Liquid Philippines!
Proudly carry the pride of ascending from legends to immortals.
They have cemented themselves. Legacy once more, created by people who were already champions in the first place. And I think, with that being said, I'm sure that it felt good. And it is now time for us to present our medals and prize. So with that being said, I would like to call on stage the project manager of the Philippine Esports Organization, Mr. Victor Tana Kabuay, to award Team Liquid Philippines. The Filipino sniper, Oheb! The young goat, Carl Tizzy! It's the chef himself, Sanji! Another win for Daddy JP! And Team Liquid's very own Sanford! Also joining them is Perks! Give it up for Coach RC! And Team Liquid Philippines have now claimed their medals, and they will also be having lots of other prizes together with that as well.
Mr. Kabuay, let's make sure we have a picture of this wonderful moment. Can we ask Team Liquid Philippines, everybody to please post in the middle over here with Mr. Kabuay as well. Once again, your champions, Team Liquid Philippines!
Jamie, I believe now is another opportunity for us to give another award to our winners.
Yes, once again, everybody, can you give our winners a big round of applause? Rightfully, there's the spotlight. Mr. Kabuay, a big thank you for joining us here in the middle. Our awarding does not end here because next up, to present the GT Champion set by Infinix, please welcome on stage the Infinix Philippines Marketing Manager, Ms. Jelly Buan, and the Infinix Regional Game Marketing Lead, Mr. Harold Leonardo. Please join us on stage. Yes, here we have the GT Champion set by Infinix. We have jackets, AI rings, and of course, in a bit, we'll see the highlight of this champion set.
With that being said, thank you so much to Harry and to Jelly. I think we also need another photo op. And with that being said, gentlemen, you now have your rings with you as well. Congratulations once more to the Cavalry for such an outstanding performance.
Really well deserved. And as you can see, there is another prize being brought up here, again courtesy of Infinix. To complete the GT Champion set, we also have the GT30 Pro.
Lots of prizes. I'm sure of that, Jamie. There is a lot of things that is definitely deserved by Team Liquid Philippines after what seemed to be a crazy series that was showcased to the entire world as of the moment. And just for the information for everybody, I believe that GT30 Pro is still not available for everybody else, right? But it's just simply available and ready for all of our players.
Exactly. They are one of the first few ones to own this wonderful GT30 Pro. Let's make sure we have a picture of this with Jelly and Harry as well. Once again, they have their AI rings, their GT30 Pro, and of course their fabulous jackets from Infinix. Jelly, Harry, a big thank you. Can we give Infinix a big round of applause as well? Thank you so much for this amazing champion set.
Not only that, because our champions will also be receiving TT Racing gaming chairs, of course, from our partners, TT Racing. You've seen the collaborations, and I'm sure that our champions will have choices. So guys, brand new chairs. I'm sure you're gonna be happy about that. And Jamie, there's, you know, it doesn't end there.
Yes, I am so excited for this next bit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for our finals MVP. The player that significantly helped bring this team to immortality, to present the trophy. Let's welcome to the stage the Chief of the Professional Sports and Games Division of the Games and Amusement Board, Dr. Jesusito M. Garcia. Please join us in the middle. And to present the check, may we call on Ms. Cynthia G. Canyazal, Assistant Chief of the Supervising Sports and Games Regulation Officer of the Games and Amusement Board.
Dr. Ms. Cynthia, it is nice to be here with you today. Thank you so much for coming over. And with that being said, this player refused to give up rose from being legendary. I just want to know from the Champions Arena, sino ang inyong finals MVP?
Lakasan nyo nga! Sino?
I think they all have it in unison. Now, it is time to award our finals MVP, and all you need is to look at our screen. Our finals MVP is Sanji!
Hans, I think the crowd agrees.
They definitely agree.
Loud and
Doctor,
clear.
Please go ahead and take a photo together with our finals MVP. There we finally have it. Dr. Miss Cynthia, maraming salamat po for being with us today. And I think it's only right for us to talk to our finals MVP, Sanji. Ako nang bahala magawa kasi again, you have a lot. And, you know, we've witnessed the struggles of this team right from the start of the season. But then you were dominant to end it all. Gusto kong malaman kung anong masasabi mo sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa inyong lahat. Nasaan ang Cavalry as of the moment? They're all alive and there to show support, and now you're champions. What can you say to the rest of Team Liquid Philippines?
Thank you guys. Di ko makukuha to kundi dahil sa suporta nyo. Tsaka sa mga teammates ko din na sobrang lalakas din talaga. Tinulungan nila ako makuha to.
An award so well-deserved, Hans. Wow, congratulations once again.
That is our finals MVP, and last but certainly not the least, this is going to be the Infinix My Greatest Teammate Award. Let's call back on stage from Infinix Philippines, of course, their marketing manager, Miss Jelly Buan, and the Infinix Regional Game Marketing Lead, Mr. Harry Leonardo. So another award is going to be given, and I believe this was an award that was voted among the teammates. So with that being said, the greatest, or should I say, the Infinix My Greatest Teammate Award goes to there's a lot of suspense, and I think it is time for me to just say it. It's Sanji once again!
Victory in MPL is also about heart, hustle, and the ones who hold the team together behind the scenes. Tonight, we honor another great player, one chosen not by the fans or the panel, but by the champion team themselves. The greatest teammate will receive the Infinix GT Concept gaming phone powered by electrochromic technology. Congratulations once again. Sanji with Jelly and Harry there. Thank you once again for joining us on stage, and congratulations. I'm gonna say it again, Hans, very well deserved. Wow.
I think this is, I know you guys are holding a lot of prizes, but I want you to raise that trophy one more time. This is another chance for you to do it. It is all yours. Yep, you can definitely leave all of your prizes and just come back for it later. But now, go ahead, walk on the aisle of victory, the aisle of glory, from legends to immortals. The Cavalry is now legendary. And is everyone from the Champions Arena ready for this? And I assume they are. We'll be doing it. Team Liquid Philippines in 3,
2, 1.
Your champions of MPL Philippines Season 15, Team Liquid Philippines!